gear.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I'm back with
So if you
another
were to
one.
die in the
I
next
started a
system,
little bit
then
late,
one of the
but
places you might come out
I'm
from
watching
is
the
hospital in
CitizenCon
Levski, which
Direct,
is called the Mercy
and just a
Hospital.
quick little tidbit to
The Mercy
update.
Hospital is just
We actually
basically
have
a local med
where
station for all the
they're
residents
bringing
of
Nix
Levski,
to
anybody
Star
traveling through the
Citizen
system.
next month.
They're trying to provide
It's not
as good
PTU to the end of the year. It is
health
coming
support as
next
they can.
month. Nix is coming in November, guys.
When
Awesome.
you
And now they're
arrive
talking
at the,
about
hub
Nix and
location,
Levski.
represented by a
So
lobby,
let's just get
elevator
into
bank,
it.
and then you will take that transit to the HAB room. So within that room will be pods.
And that's where the original miners would have lived. They're not the nicest, and they're a bit messy, but they're a home for people in Levski. If you head down to the lower view deck, you'll go through into the Grand Barter, which is your main social and commercial area of Levski.
This is where you will see market sellers selling their wares. There will be stalls, there will be more embedded shops.
And that includes things like Corderies, which is your armor shop, and also conscientious objects, which is for weapons. There's also one of my favorite places, Cafe Musée, which is where you can go down into some of the more rocky depths and grab yourself a drink, and you never know who you meet down there. If you explore a bit more around the Grand Barter, there's other routes around and little side passages.
So it's almost
There's
like a
another
Grim
shop
Hex
that's
type of
away from that
situation,
area
almost.
called Teachers.
Teacher Ship Shop is basically where you would go if you were looking to pick
Gotcha.
up a used ship, buy some ship parts, fix up your old ship, find some new stuff, sell some scrap.
We've closed up Dumpers Depot for Levski, and everything that used to be sold there will now be sold at Teachers. Another new area, as well as the cargo shop that we've added, is the refinery deck for Levski.
Nice.
That's where you can take your processed goods, not just from Levski, but from the rest of the Nix system, and refine and sell those goods
I'll
there.
buy it and call it Heterons.
As a lot of the content in the next coming releases for Nix is going to be mining related. So it's super important that Levski is a really nice hub for mining type of gameplay. So we're really happy to bring Levski back into the game. It's been gone for quite a few years now.
I think it really provided a unique environment of it's run down, but the people who live there love it and are working their hardest to make it a great place to live.
Oh, yeah.
This is a location that has a lot
liking
of
a lot of the
nostalgia
updates.
for you guys, and
Pretty.
we don't want this
A lot
just
prettier
to be
than I would have ever
re-released.
expected,
We
and
do want you
they
to
are
go,
making
wow.
it
It's not going to be
the
as complete
system
as Pyro was when it
requirements
first came
higher.
out, but it's going to be our
Make that
first
look
iteration,
like that.
and you're going to be able to see it grow as we work on
Absolutely.
it.
Like with everything, we're always learning and improving and finding new ways.
I mean, is there anything more Star Citizen than just building the system while the players watch us build it around them?
Going to add a nice dynamic to Stanton and be a much more calming of style system than Pyro.
The people that would have played it before are going to love to see this come back. And the people that haven't seen it before, it's going to be a great new location.
All the stuff
This is the first time that I'm going to be able to touch stuff and kind of bring my own content to the game. And that's really exciting to me.
Levski coming back into the game is a huge milestone personally for me. So I worked on the original quite some time ago. So seeing it come back and updated and improved and better is fantastic.
Okay, why didn't my...
Nice. Hey, Ricky, by the way, I'm recording, so just keep that in mind, bro.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I mean, I'm only for a few minutes. I'm at work. I'm on break, so I thought I'd jump in for a minute.
Yeah, I figured as much. So, as I said, they're bringing Nix to Star Citizen next month.
But you're probably asking yourself,
Okay,
what's the new
awesome.
gameplay
I mean, I know a lot of
activity
people
we're
were,
gonna be doing? So let's find out.
looking.
Welcome to
thinking
Nix
was coming like
is
really soon.
your
so-
first
Yeah.
experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
Okay,
It's a
other
mystery
than
to
that
be
announcement,
solved.
I
There's
missed anything else in
things
the
for
last
the
20
player
minutes?
to
No,
explore
just
and
talk
look
about
into.
Levski.
There's going to be some twists
all
and
recorded.
turns,
You
of
never
course,
sing
some
anything.
combat, and if you're
Yeah.
lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is
Well, I mean,
basically
obviously,
a
I'm not going to get to
continuation
look at anything until
kind of our ASD
later.
story
I didn't know
right
whether
now.
you would
In
be
the
streaming this
closing
and
out
watching
what
it
we
in
call our
Discord
sort
as
of
well.
science run amok storyline, we had revealed that ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments. So This mission is basically going to be continuing on that trail.
So the Navy has learned that illegal tech is being sold in the UAE, and they're hiring Intersect to investigate. Intersect Defense Solutions is the leading military defense contractor in the UAE. So the Navy contracts with them a lot for doing various kind of military operations that they don't want to handle themselves. We didn't want players to be working directly for the Navy. The Navy just doesn't call up random citizens and ask like, hey, if you're free, can you fly a helicopter? I guess as a player, when you can think about like, oh, where am I gonna be doing missions that are capital ship battles or large fleet scale stuff?
I like how they're doing stuff that really makes sense.
That's all gonna come from Intersect Defense Solutions.
Nice.
Intersect have discovered the source of the illegal tech is in the NIC system and an old abandoned QV Planet Services logistics station that's come back.
I gotta go back to the
So they want the players to figure out what's going on.
So that makes sense.
Ooh.
So when you come out of Quantum and you start your approach vector to the objective, you'll be weaving through asteroids, going through the Glacian belt, and slowly the station will reveal itself. Now this is an old QV logistics station. It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict, but there's some points of interest that you'll spot as you go through. So the station itself shares design cues from old Pan Am stations found in Pyro. This architectural design found its way over to the NIC system as the system was being established. But you'll also see some additional design cues that QV planetary services were adding, so it's a nice transition architectural point. It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris. So at this point, you should be asking yourself, who does this belong to? Away from the Polaris, you'll see struts leading to asteroid bases. Now, these asteroid bases are locked, so you don't know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of this comes together to form the playground for the mission to take place. So not only is this facility unabandoned, but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
Uh-oh. Hello, the Vandal. Yeah! Let's go! Yeah, that's the Stinger. Oh, let's go!
There's the glaive, or the blade. And there's the glaive.
Yep.
For the first time in the PU, the Vandal.
Hell yeah.
So the Vandal are a nomadic, very, very, very violent spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the NIC system.
No, that's the glaive right there. That's the bigger one was the Stinger.
But it seems like whoever's running the station is really pissed them off.
Vandal raiding parties have been rioting in the system, and they're unaffiliated to any clan.
Oh look,
small groups
it's
coming in
Heteron.
and picking at them. But as time goes on, those raids have gotten bigger and more frequent.
They'll be the scythes that you're familiar with, glaives and blades that we all know and hate, and a new craft for the PU, the Vandal Stinger.
Yeah, that thing is dope. Let's go.
You will be contacted by some civilians on arrival asking you for help.
So at this point, you have a choice.
And that's supposed to be what a heavy?
Out, mission over.
A heavy
or,
fighter, yeah.
Join the fight.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I mean, we'll have to.
This will be the first time since the PU launched
what it's
that
like
you'll
and
be able
everything.
to fight against Vandal aggressor ships.
He's
This fight
tired.
will be intense. The player should be able to deal
Because I just
with
like
them,
the look of that.
but they will have to be prepared and they'll have to come back in to fight off this initial wave, and that won't be the end of it.
After you fight off the Vandal ships, the mysterious inhabitants of the station invite you to come on board.
Which Intersect sort of will encourage you to do because it'll help further their investigation against what's happening here, why these QV stations have come back online.
You dock your ship, you board the station, and it turns out the inhabitants here have a real surprise for you.
The player
Oh,
will
those
be
are the new armors
immediately
for
ambushed. These guys are
CitizenCon.
not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
So you get those two new armors, both of those armors right there.
Definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be the players getting a sense of what exactly is going on there, who these new people are. They'll be in unfamiliar armor, they'll be wielding unfamiliar weapons, and we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new
territory. Yeah, these are the new armors, Lisa. So anyone got the digital goodies pack? Those are the two new armors right there.
So after you survive this initial ambush, you get back in touch with Intersec, and obviously the question is, who are these people? Why are they attacking you? Why are the Vandal attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought. The directive from Intersec is to explore the station and collect as much information as you possibly can.
Along the way, you're going to get to explore some new areas.
It's not just the space station. There's the disabled capital ship. There's asteroid bases nearby with obvious installations there, other forces that the Vandal have been attacking. There's a debris field.
Explore the locations in any order you want and try to find out who these people are and why the Vandal are after them.
You'll find new clues. You'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on
Vandal
in the space
hunters.
station, and find out what kind of loot they have for you now that you've beat them.
And of course, this is a legally open station, so anything you find is yours to keep and sell, maybe even give to Wicklow.
Good old Wicklow.
This isn't just a one-time event. This is a permanent sort of mission that we're going to be adding to the game.
You can go back and repeat this mission and find ways to do it even better, even faster.
There'll be a different story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersec will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
Now you know the real story, and you can start digging and giving more information to Intersec along the way.
Let's go, Vandal. That Stinger is pretty dope.
I'm super excited to finally see the Vandal in the PU.
I'm excited to bring cool.
Wow, so many people on today.
Oh my
Players
god.
like you will now get a face down these awesome ships. And
Just
get
you know,
a
I'm
taste
streaming,
of,
or not streaming. I'm recording this for my
like
channel.
We already
So
have it in Arena Commander.
Yeah, welcome back.
You get to fight
Long
the
time no
Vandal
see.
Swarm, and being able to do that in the PU is going to be, I think, a heck of a lot of fun.
Nothing much.
So this marks a great milestone
Bunch
for
of
us
people
for
coming in.
not only pushing hard and adding great content this year,
Like I said,
but also
the
being able to
coming back
introduce the
yesterday.
next star system, and introducing the next
like it.
landscape to tell
Levski?
new stories.
Yeah, they're putting in the
and
new
now
system
working
called Nyx, and Nyx
into
drops
the ever-expanding
next month. The new
so
system.
We'll leave 4.4 there. And if you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a
now
toast to the
we can get
great
this
work
grouping
that all
here
the teams
and
are
maybe-
doing this year. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Heck yeah, I'm excited.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voyager Bar in beautiful scenic Orizon, where the staff of Cloud Imperium Games Manchester is gathered for their very own CitizenCon Direct watch party.
What's going on there?
They don't want to have.
As the
they didn't
dozens
wanna
of
have
such
to
events
take care of
happening at
people, they wanna
locations
take
around
care
the
of
world,
themselves.
we've gathered today
Oh, this
to
is
watch
where all your
a
hard-earned
sneak
money is
peek
going to
at
this
just a little of what the
this
next year's Star
Orison
Citizen
style
has in
facility
store
for
everyone.
CIG.
Oh, that was really good, everybody. I'm Jared Huckabee, your host for the festivities and for
right.
the show today. And let me tell you, it's not a joke. It's
All right.
not a gag.
Later,
Next
Million.
week, we're hitting our 9th patch in
Yeah.
10 months.
But yeah,
and
the last
then
thing
in
I was gonna do
November,
before
we're
I
going to
go,
finish
like I
out the
said,
year
my next
strong
fight's
with a
Battle
long-awaited
5, so
arrival
it'll be
of the
like
next
next
system.
But
And in case you missed
like I
it
said,
because
we
you
can
were
get
chatting
all
with
this
friends,
grouping we have here, add at least of Leary
it's
and
not the
Hiss,
lawless
and I know
wasteland
there's
of
like
Pyro
one
many
other
folks
person
have
I'm
been
forgetting.
speculating.
That
But
would
an
be
independent
an
system with
awesome,
its
you know,
own set of
little,
rules and laws and multiple
time
ways to
mission
get
or
there.
whatever, but-
It's an exciting
Talk to
time
y'all
for
later.
everyone at Cloud
Later.
Imperium Games because, as the architects of our persistent universe said at the start of the show, the foundational tech that we've been building for so many years has now unlocked us to bring more to Star Citizen than ever before as we continue our journey towards 1.0. Now, before we continue with the show, let's get a few housekeeping tasks out of the way. First, we're simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want the keen communities of Twitch or the 4K ultra high resolution of YouTube, you have your choice. Second, throughout the broadcast today, we want to see and hear what you have to say along the way, and you can tell us on social media by using hashtag CitizenCon. We're especially interested to see any photos from those watch parties that are happening across the globe, and we're going to find some way to bring a few of them into the broadcast later in the program. Third, we've also had a CitizenCon contest going for people to create their very own slice of life in the PU videos, and we played the winning entries during our pre-show countdown. The offerings were super varied. The idea was to
So it's being recorded, but
the life of a miner or
going to be posted later on?
Yeah.
One guy just said, "I'm going to make a video about how awesome I am," and I respect that. So shout out Nocturnal Revenant. I don't remember if you were one of the winners getting an L21 Wolf from Kruger for their efforts, but you won the coveted Disco Lando Complete Narcissist Award.
Complete Narcissist Award.
And to all the winners, I'm sure someone will either be in touch with you about your wolves or they'll just show up on your accounts. I really don't know how that process works. Probably would have been good to find out before the show, huh?
He's a liar.
He's so afraid. Either way, if you missed the pre-show and are curious if you won, you can check the replay.
So do they have the wormhole mechanics up yet?
Oh yeah,
I just
Pyro's
realized
been
that my
up.
bosses Chris and Sandy are sitting in a movie
Yeah,
theater
so,
watching party in Switzerland right now.
How is it?
A completely captive
it's cool.
audience. It's a real behind the scenes here. This is especially torturous for Chris right now.
You control
because
the
he's
flight
super
through
excited
for
about the
that matter.
next segment we've got.
Yeah, it's not
coming
like
up.
a cutscene or something,
Aren't you,
but
Chris?
you actually fly the wormhole, and
And
if
you
you
just sat
hit
there
the
right
wall
now,
or go through it,
forced to
you'll end
watch
up
and
being
listen to
stuck in
anything I
between
say.
space right outside wherever the
Do either
closest
of you
system you're
regret that
to.
decision so long ago? All right, so I've probably pushed my luck enough. Let's get to the next thing.
Is it
When
hard to
Nyx
navigate,
arrives next
or?
No,
month, it'll
it's
have
pretty
Levski,
easy.
the Glacium Belt, and the new Welcome to Nyx operation we just discussed. But throughout 2026, we'll also continue to build the star system out with new features and new technologies that will not only set Nyx apart and give it a unique identity from its sibling star systems, but continue to set Star Citizen apart from other video games altogether. Now, at this point, if you're running one of the watch parties, you're going to want to crank your speakers up for some brand new music from the maestro Pedro himself. And let's take a look at some of what the next year has to offer for the Nyx system.
Do you have to go through some kind of gate, or is it like the mechanic going between planets and super speed?
At Cloud Imperium Games, we believe art inspires the best technology. And through the development of that technology, it pushes us to create even better art. When Genesis comes to the persistent universe starting next year, it will change how you experience every world. And not just in the building of the new planets for the Nyx system. We will also go back through Stanton and Pyro and reimagine them through the lens of our technology.
Nice.
Previously, and more traditionally, we'd create slices of biomes, like deserts or forests. This approach moved us forwards and got us this far, but solving the scale was always tricky. And for Star Citizen, we like to do scale on another level. Issues like seeing tiling from our height maps from high altitude, or the unpredictable blending when two biomes connected, were common. But ultimately, things just never felt right. Our worlds were gorgeous, but to us, they still sometimes felt like interpretations. Now, this was a super hard problem, which we needed to solve at the scale the Star Citizen requires. We challenged ourselves to emulate nature in the most believable way, and not just on a planetary scale, but to our level of detail. With Genesis, we've made a complete paradigm shift to how we do things.
Oh, nice.
Biomes are now created based on the physical data sets, with the assets being spawned whenever and wherever the correct criteria is found. So when you see a forest or a meadow, it's no longer because an artist painstakingly crafted it there. It's now because it simply wants to be there. It fits inside our rules.
Bunch of pink slips.
Genesis also ties into our other gameplay systems. Our
Oh,
new
this
planets
forest look
are
nice
built from the
with the
information
fall
we create
colors and stuff.
for our different
They're not
data
just like the
sets,
same old green BS.
like height maps, humidity, temperature, soil type, soil amounts, geology erosion data, to name but a few.
That's cool.
This means you can now tell where to find valuable minerals as the geology looks like it would be suitable for it. Where scree piles exist below sheer cliff faces, and where rocks are broken off over time due to erosion. Of course, these new tools still give us the ability to direct
there's the Corsair
field we want.
Those look like acne.
The attention to detail from the tallest mountain to the smallest
Yo,
flower.
this planet looks nice.
Darn, it's a good thing you said you're recording. I was going to say it looks like something.
We can now keep that detail-orientated mindset
And then there's swamps.
as we focus on the quality, and it provides the quantity.
This has to be Castro.
Genesis
it would be nice
our
if it
planets
is.
with the ultimate sense of exploration and adventure. Discovery,
I'm telling you, they got
pure
Nyx together
form.
with Genesis
We want
coming next
you
year.
to find that
I
perfect
would
place
almost think that by the end of the year,
planets
Castro
providing
might
an
be here.
abundant resource
And
to
then
harvest.
Terra,
This
and then you
is
got
a
our 5
major
systems.
part of what exploration is for us. We want that feeling of finding a corner of the universe that you'll fall in love with, and where you want to settle down and build your home.
Oh, base building, baby.
Now I'm going to hand you over to Will to go deeper into what we have.
Yeah, I think I saw a video on YouTube saying someone's already been
As a reminder,
able to
some of the
claim
visuals you'll
land.
see will evolve.
I think they did
change
a while
as we
ago, like
continue
back
our
in the
technological
day, but I don't
development
think nothing
and
recently.
hone in on the final look for Nyx.
Yeah, Corsair. Boo.
Yay, Corsair, baby. Emerald Duchess.
Thanks, Ian. So, in case it's not already clear, Genesis is our name for a group of technologies that are improving our ability to build worlds, refining those that we've already created, and ultimately expanding our persistent universe to the scale and quality that we all expect.
I can't wait to
work
see
on
Genesis
planet
when
tech,
it comes
so
to
let's talk about how that's
redoing
continued to evolve
Stanton
since our
planets
presentation last year.
based off of the
And instead
data.
of just highlighting
Yeah,
some
no
really
kidding.
cool biomes that we can create, let's
be
go
very
ahead and show how all this work applies to the upcoming planets of Nyx. So there are 3 planets in Nyx. Nyx 3 is a gas giant, and I think it's blue. It's not going to surface. I don't really know. Nyx 2 is a yellow, toxic. It's got like this high pressure atmosphere, and it's like a very volatile planet with high risk reward gameplay. It's going to have some really interesting biomes for you to discover, but for now, just know it's going to be dangerous, because today we're going to focus on what we consider to be the hero planet of this system. Nyx 1 has got a rugged, remote beauty. It's got a diverse set of biomes, from weathered rocky mountain ranges to vast sweeping
gorgeous.
forests and grasslands, and from damp, expansive wetlands to claustrophobic,
Oh
festering
man,
swamps.
Nyx is. I wasn't gonna worry about Nyx at first,
These
but I
core
would
biome
definitely,
concepts give us a
especially if we
fantastic
get base
platform
building
to
too
hone
by the
our
end of this year.
technology.
Oh, I'm setting
In
up
some
shop at
cases,
Nyx at
because
first.
the current tech couldn't do them at all.
Yeah,
Because we want to.
I was looking at that rocky terrain and thinking, oh, Ocean's gonna be driving upside down on again on once.
In much the same way that you play it will.
You're not wrong.
There's Ocean coming on as
Orbit
Polaris
appearance
coming in
of
hot and
planets going
crashing.
forward is far more tied to what is present on the surface.
Hey.
Previously, we had different data.
You know
that
he's
were
always gonna be
orbital and
mining
ground
rocks.
coloring.
I'm gonna be salvaging.
That's because the
when he
orbit was
crashes.
designed to look like vegetation that we
Hell
place on
yeah.
the surface.
Oh wait,
And
did
the
I say
ground
that?
coloring was
Look
trying
at
to be a
that.
mix of soil, rock, and
If
the
this is
organic
what we
compound
expect
coloring
next
that
month
forms
for
the
for
color
Nyx
set.
1, oh my god, like it's gonna be. I'm gonna be
Now we
living there.
offer much more of the data
Heck
in
yeah.
a unified way. When you look at Earth, you see blues
looks
and
like a
greens
rash.
for ocean and vegetation, and brown or
I just wonder if
yellowy
they're gonna
tones
bring
for
back
sand and soil.
Esmond. I hope
We
they
wanted to
bring
keep
back
it as simple as that. The same
Like
set
his
of
original.
textures and data that define the color of the soil, sand, and rock on the
back
ground
what?
are used to create the orbital look.
Oh wow.
We then assess
Original
the presence of
Esmond,
vegetation
not
and
the hippie
competition between
Esmond.
different species
Ah.
on each part of the planet, and use that to blend in tones of green, including variations due to species health and the current season. This creates a far more complete image and allows you to identify features, geologies, and potential points of interest all the way from space.
talked about seasons. Are they gonna do seasons?
Let's go down to the surface and start with something closer to what you're used to, but in a whole new light. When we approached the surface of the planet, we wanted to start by focusing on just the soil and rock. One of the things that was missing from our terrain previously was simply feature complexity. Looking at our contemporaries, we lacked detail at the ground scale. To combat this, we've added a new layer of data. That layer is called the medium tiles. These are intelligently placed on top of the existing 4-kilometer terrain tiles based on slope, soil type, and other erosion data. And these medium tiles don't just create height changes, they also bring in local erosion data both for soil and bedrock size values. And this gives us a whole new level of terrain detail, of scale, and allows us to create far more unique locations across the planet.
Nice to hide my bodies.
So now that we've nailed the surface, let's have a look at adding some rocks. We've now got 2 major contributors to the rock content of our planets. Firstly, long desired feature, cliffs. We are adding large scale, very detailed to all our cliffs based on the geology at a given location. This adds an exciting new dimension to steep slopes that we simply couldn't get before. The second is a big one for you ground vehicle enthusiasts. Rocks are now found not scattered everywhere, like spilt popcorn at the cinema, but only in places you'd expect to find them, thanks to a brand new rock scattering algorithm that isn't annoying as hell.
Thank God.
Using physical data generated for each
Mystic's
large
already
medium
thinking
tile, now rock
everything.
Look at that.
sense
Yeah, that makes
and has
sense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's
God,
perfect.
I cannot
So
wait
still
for them to
crashing into
redo
them
fucking Hurston. I'm
this
so
comes out,
over Hurston with
that's
all
on
the
you.
scattered rocks everywhere.
Oh, and the moons. Just
Yes.
The rock assets themselves have had a glow up
Ooh,
too.
look at that.
We now
That's
create rock
beautiful.
assets related to a particular geology that look like they originated from the same source.
Yeah, it looks nice, but unless you can actually do something with it, it's
much
just
more interesting
looks.
ways too.
Well, I think all the rocks are for mining.
So now
You can
that
do
our
all the
base
mining with
terrain
it.
and rock scattering looks good, let's add
So
some
you'll be able to
vegetation
clear a path?
explore some additional biomes.
I would think so, because even like right now with the new mission they have, where there's a big serpent
one's
type
forests
thing,
and
it can hit
grasslands
the
are full
rocks
of
and destroy
trees,
them. So it's
various
that's like
grass
basically
species,
Maelstrom,
rock
where you're having
formations,
destructible
and they're
objects
found in
like
all sorts of elevations,
like round
mountain
rocks
valleys,
and stuff.
open plains, and dense meadows.
Yeah.
And when we start to add a bit of
This
fresh
right here-
water,
on next one?
they begin
Yeah.
transitioning.
Like this right here
into
with these
more
little
wetland-type
round
biomes.
looking plants. Like I'm all about that.
Well, they look like
And while forests are super
you're recording,
cool,
or I would say what it
let's
looks like.
focus on the
I know what
grasslands
you're
and
gonna say.
wetlands today.
No, you don't.
Everybody does now.
So,
I already when he said
how are
something
we
about
making these
Sparkins,
look
there's something
so great?
like hemorrhoids or something.
Obviously, we've had
Call
grass
me
before, but
Mr.
now
Pig.
of it. Because until now,
Oh,
we
you do
haven't
know
been able
my
to
mind.
spawn grass
That's very
in
sad
large
for
enough
you.
quantities
Yes.
or effectively represented at distance.
I've unfortunately
So
been
we're
around you
stepping
way
up our
too
game
long,
in
Heteron.
terms of spawning, shaping, and shading grass.
Just flying over that
With
terrain is
Genesis,
gorgeous.
we now leverage GPU spawning.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
to create
There's no
vast
playing.
quantities
It's all
of
like
assets
just
across
watching as
all
you like
biomes.
glide
Now
by.
you give me
Whether
crap
it be
about
dense
having a
meadows,
links. That's for
or
links. That's
more
a links
complex
right
collections
there.
of ground
Oh,
cover.
we all have
and
ground
sea
vehicles
wetlands.
actually. So.
Oh, look at that! I love the swamp area. That
We
is
are
so
also
sweet.
able to fit our grass tiles into the ground by conforming them to the unique terrain underneath. Now we can finally cover complex terrain shapes with grass and ground cover
Oh,
assets.
that
As a result, they are
is
now gravity aligned,
gorgeous.
meaning each blade is
better.
oriented as you'd expect and not sticking out like
Yeah,
before.
this is. Now we're starting to get.
Oh, there it is. There's the links.
Next, let's take a look at how we light our grass. Now, as in real
Well,
life, the shading of a grass blade, or indeed a whole field of grass, is lit very
I
differently.
think it's gonna
to
look really
like a
cool
flat
with
surface.
ground vehicles
We
going
now use
over
a
it.
solution that shades meadows of grass far more like fur or hair. And this, if you
Okay, now
think
I'm
about
excited.
it, makes sense. At a distance, a field of grass is far more like a carpet or cloth than a flat surface.
Yeah, there's nobody there to
This
like trim it.
improves how our grass
Yeah.
looks from a near perspective, as well as bringing us nicely into how we're solving the distant representation of grass. So let's talk about the distance problem. One of our biggest achievements with Genesis is allowing us to build beautiful biomes out of flora and geology assets like a building set. Can I say Lego?
No.
Too late. But in the past, this broke down very quickly when objects simply disappeared when viewing the same biome from 10, 20, 100 kilometers away.
No, they won't.
Because we don't hide planetary transitions and allow you to view complex regions from very large distances, there are almost infinite perspectives from which you can see a location in Star Citizen. So, how can we afford to evaluate complex spawning logic at runtime for the entire swathes of the planet? Enter the virtual terrain. Virtual terrain, or VT for short, is how we now cache and represent our terrain at varying scales. This has been the enabler for all of the lovely advances in terrain complexity and asset spawning we've shown so far. And it's also how we now evaluate and represent vegetation from a distance. When creating the VT for each part of the terrain, we assess if vegetation has covered the ground, and if so, what shading should be applied. For all of our biomes, we're now able to use the same shading model for the distant representation as the close-up asset, whether that's our lovely rolling hills, some more dramatic rockscapes, those muggy wetlands.
Wetlands are like the spot.
Or even our festering swamps.
I'm like in the rocky area.
So yeah, we didn't forget about the swamps.
That's nice right there.
And they're
Yeah,
coming to
wetlands
this
and swamps
as well.
all day.
Built using the lessons learned and all the technologies we've developed, these swamps now spring into existence from the planetary data.
One new vehicle will be a hovercraft.
This biome combines all of the elements from the other biomes we've shown you today.
Ursas are going to have fun in here.
Spawning.
Yeah, on Pyro 1, oh, this is going to be lit.
And I think it
But I guarantee you it's going to be
really
laggy as hell with all the people checking it out in the first couple weeks.
Next one, not Pyro 1.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, next one.
That's what you got us here for. We're your captive audience.
Yeah.
Let me go. I don't want to be in your basement anymore.
Anyway, that's our update on the Planet Tech portion of Genesis and how we're using it right now to sculpt the identity of Nyx 1. And I hope you're as excited as we are to explore
It
this
really
and
looks like
everything
they're
we haven't
getting a lot of the
shared
graphic
next year.
extension.
Oh yeah, Nyx 1. Nice.
That is, yeah.
As you can see,
I hope that
Genesis
means
is now
that
inspiring
folks-
everyone.
Like I
to
said,
create
whenever they use
planet,
Genesis on Stanton and stuff,
quality,
I'm going to be thrilled.
believability we've always strived for.
Look at that storm.
Yeah.
And
Well,
meeting
I'm also looking at this in the context of when the greater universe is kind of filled out. We have
Let's move on to a little
tens and tens of systems.
Literally.
Right.
Oh, that's gonna make it very interesting. It's like, oh, where you
Terra
at?
system.
Oh, I'm at Castro. Oh, I'm Terra.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't know how we're gonna hook
Our
up.
mission system has been specific to the star system.
Rator,
we're in,
yeah.
Meaning a Stanton
How are we
mission
gonna do
has to
missions?
take place in the Stanton system. And
Oh,
a Pyro
good.
mission has to take place
Ooh,
there.
so they have cross-system
We've never been
missions.
able to link
Yes,
these together.
cross-system.
The
Nice.
introduction of our third star system,
they
it's
had
time
to.
for this to change.
They did.
And that begins with the introduction of interstellar cargo.
What are you talking about?
Let's go!
There
Let's
you go.
go!
Oh man, I was just gonna say, Lisa's about to do unnatural things at the moment.
Oh man, well shoot, like I say, if Lisa goes and get that whole C, you got a whole C. My ironclad's hopefully coming by beginning of next year. Oh my gosh, that's what I was saying. All this cargo's coming for the interstellar joints.
Cargo that kind of fulfill the purpose for
Yes.
Hull C and the other series of Hull ships.
Oh yeah.
And there'll be a few sort of more direct routes.
So you might pick up some cargo from Ruin Station in Pyro and go through the jump point to Stanton and drop it off there at one of the Elios.
So if you've never sort of experienced the jump point or going through it, these missions will require you to.
And that's how the jump gates actually
No
look
way
and
that
how
you
they
can
work.
do
These
them
are
in any
exactly how
sort
it
of
looks.
Ship you want, any size of ship. I'll be doing them in my Drake cutter myself, between Stanton and Nyx.
Yeah, what I meant was, is it always open or do you?
No, you have to. Basically, what happens when you get up to it, if it's closed, when you're in your mode, it'll basically create a field around your ship that'll when it hits green, you shoot it out. It will hit the aperture point, which will then open it up, and then it'll pull you in.
As well as express missions.
So it's like the jump drives.
The deadline timers that you're used to
Kinda,
with
yeah.
regular holiday missions might get really tight.
And then once you open it up, then you fly through, and you have to fly it through the gate or through the tunnel.
With the logistical
Yeah, that's what I was asking
sure they
before.
make sense within the themes of the systems. Just as much love has gone into the interstellar.
And it does take up quantum, so don't go into it with no quantum because it'll throw you out if you run out, and then you'll be SOL.
There's my ship.
Really? That
thing is fueled by
right in
quantum
front
fuel?
of you.
Yes.
The 4.4 launches next.
When you go through when you go through a tunnel, you'll notice how your quantum field will start
So you
diminishing.
can discover it for yourself.
My friend, I
In-game
always
and on your
refuel
own.
when I land,
We
so
still
I wouldn't
are
notice.
excited to share with you a brief look at one of our up-and-coming locations.
Every time.
We're calling Rockcracker.
Ooh, Rockcracker. Ooh. Ooh, you see what that ship is, right? That's a mole.
Okay, so
Home.
Rockcracker, Jared, is our internal name.
Rockcracker is where you have to crack a rock. It's a big rock.
He looks like a murderer.
You want more?
So way out into the Keegar Belt, you'll find these old QV breaker stations.
Nice.
Why did they ask me to do this?
These were
There you
originally
are.
industrial
That's for you, Heteron.
facilities breaking apart large asteroids.
Oh, that's cool.
Mining them down. But since they've been mothballed and been left abandoned.
Not for long.
So you're going to have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility back to life. It's not just about flipping a switch. As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon and calling attention to these long forgotten places.
Damn it, of course.
Yep, can't be easy.
Nope.
One of the main features is the laser head, which will require certain things to get working.
I see.
It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
There'll be a variety of options. Whether you're discovering the bowels of the station and mining your way through long forgotten tunnels, or you're going through the main laser entrance.
They're telling us, basically.
Now, as you're traversing through the facility, you'll find the old engine room. Now, there may be ways to bring the facility back to life, kickstart the engines, and bring power to different parts of the facility. Maybe eventually bringing the laser back online and cracking some rocks.
The secondary gameplay loop is FPS combat. You're not there by yourself.
There may be squatters and outlaws in these stations trying to stop you from what you want to do.
Wait, what's that? Okay. Shotgun? It sounded like an automatic shotgun, but a different one.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think that's a new shotgun.
So you found these old facilities, you've brought them back to life.
Automatic shotgun.
You've systematically brought power to various functions of the facility.
Yeah, but it did that not was
Activated the laser.
It wasn't that, but it's an
You
an
fired
automatic
the laser.
shotgun.
Yeah.
So is the BR-212.
You've broken apart the rock.
BR-212 is semi.
And then you'll be able to fly your ship inside and see what's there.
Ooh.
So you fly a ship into an asteroid.
Yeah. You just get into your ship and fly in and start searching around and trying to find the pieces that you want to mine.
I'm gonna have to start taking the lifespan of children or something like that, because this game is gonna be amazing.
I'm really excited about Rockcracker
You have like
because it's a sandbox
Rockcracker, you'll have
activity.
basically like
you can kind of go
once you get it
to
up
these
online and get it
whenever
running, then you
want
might have
to.
precious stuff in there that you can sell for like a
This
lot of money.
content is for
It's all you, man.
players who enjoy mining, who enjoy exploration, investigation.
Wow. This is your gameplay right here.
And
I like
don't
doing
mind
it
a little
for
bit of FPS
support,
content
so
while there.
we'll definitely be hitting it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we'll have to do something like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, daddies and
It will
mommies.
be
Yeah.
very new experience compared to any other asteroids, because this one, kind of like Alan and mine, will
crack
Well,
open.
with Pyro, I
and
think I
show
want to go
its
play
secret.
next.
And one
By the
presumes
way,
that
the
you
rock
could do it from
tequila tastes
scratch.
like water.
And an asteroid that's big enough, you fly your spaceship into it.
It wouldn't be worth doing if you couldn't make a good amount of
whatever the hell
coin. Yeah.
Making promises for the econ team.
Yeah. They've got to balance it.
It's for people who want a lot of minerals. When crafting comes in, when all the other mechanics and features that we want in the game for 1.0 come in, it will be a place where like an organization or a group of like 5-6 people could come and just get a monumental
I'm
amount
wondering
of
if you can bring
minerals.
another asteroid in and keep doing that.
No, I think it's just as it is. Yeah.
So that's a look at some of what's coming.
It's kind of like the Align in Mind whenever you got the laser working and then you shot it down from the platform and then it opened a hole in the ground that you could go down into and do like manual mining with like either a Geo or something like
all
that.
3 systems will have in the game. And of course, when we begin populating these with new planets, there'll be a whole host of ground-based POIs, settlements, and structures inhabited by those trying to make their way in the verse. And all of this in service of building star systems that complement the massive corporate yard of Stanton, the lawless ganking of Pyro, and now the new frontier of discovery for the Nyx system. Should I say ganking?
Yes.
You already did.
Nice.
Good job, everyone. So yeah, a whole lot to take in there. Interstellar hauling is the beginning of a massive expansion to the mission system that'll let us connect these 3-star systems like never before. What else we got? Rockcracker. Rockcracker is just one of the next operations that'll be coming to the Nyx system in the first half of next year, where you're gonna fly into an asteroid and do that thing that miners love more than anything else.
Hiding their face.
Complain about PvPers getting in their way.
Tequila. It's very good stuff.
No, I'm being told it's mining. It's mining. And of course, one of the most anticipated features coming to Star Citizen, Genesis, and what that means for the planets of Star Citizen, including the ones already in there. So let's talk to Will Hain and find out more. And I'm just remembering that Will Hain is in France at the watch party. Okay, France. Ask Slarty Bartfast over there how they're going to use Genesis to update the planets and moons of Stanton and get back to me, all right? And see if we can get some fjords. What else we got? The CitizenCon Digital Goodies Pack. That's a hard thing to say. That went up for sale a couple weeks ago and has a whole bunch of mysterious items in it. And that's where I can tell you now that almost all of them are tied to the Nyx system in one way or another. So let's find out what's actually in there. There's a gunship lightsuit and helmet. 2 armor sets from that mysterious faction causing a ruckus with the Vanduul.
Oh,
and
the AK, I told you.
An outfit. A couple of crazy weapons that I'm certainly going to learn about in just a few
Yeah,
minutes.
that's the
Some
automatic
slight
shotgun we
gloves
saw
to swag.
earlier.
And finally, to celebrate the long-awaited addition of the Vanduul to Star Citizen, a cool Vanduul knife and an
bullets, I don't
adorable
want it.
plushie, which I swear to love,
Oh,
squeeze,
yeah.
and cherish forever.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a pretty solid haul for this year's Digital Goodies Pack, which you can still pick up right now on the RSI store. So now, let's go ahead and transition into our next segment. Much of what you see in the show today has been the culmination of a lot of people's work in...
Oh, that's
All right,
his one that he's been working on.
Yeah. Okay, so against everyone's better judgment, the thing has finally happened. Can I help you?
That looks like foreskin armor.
I think the show's going.
Right.
Good. We're getting the Nyx star
bones.
system and the Vanduul are coming.
Kind of been a
Actual
lot of
bones.
Nyx, right?
Well, yeah, but it's a major milestone and it deserves a major showcase celebrating everybody's hard work.
I think I could
You
rock
got more,
that armor.
right?
Well, yeah, there's spaceships coming out.
Cool.
Medium.
Wow, it's like they only scanned the original community portion of me. If pictures steal your soul, imagine what face scanning in PCAP does.
Well, this has been super cringe.
That'd be kind of cool whenever
So I'm gonna head
you
out.
can actually, if they improve it where it
Bye.
scans your face and you can actually have an avatar that looks just like you.
CitizenCon is still better.
I mean, it's already almost there. I mean, we all have cameras. Of
course.
Yeah.
Should be able to.
Thank you.
I know the Moby
Part
Glass
of me
does
that
it,
isn't a soulless
a
marketing
decent
puppet.
job of it, but I would love to see for the rest of the cameras. Oh, look, it's the puppet.
No.
Oh, Jared.
Let's just go to some spaceships, shall we?
You need a hug.
What's with the puppet?
Oh, this is spaceships. Okay, let's see what we
Hi,
got.
My name's John Crew. I'm
I know the Paladin.
And welcome to Talking Ship.
John Crew.
where We're going to talk about 3 new ships coming to
I know the
the
Paladin's
system
there. We know
universe.
that in the Perseus. So what's the third? That's the third. The one. It probably might be the Hermes. All right, let's see if I call it.
Merchantman?
No, that's not coming. I can tell you that.
It's been pretty hectic
Oh,
in terms of vehicle deliveries. I think we've delivered the most we've ever done in a 12-month period.
Don't want to hear that from
all
you.
the way from tiny little
I'm going
snobs
full
all the
screen
way up
for
to
this.
capital ships.
We've kind of filled out a few little gaps. We've introduced some new ships by some old manufacturers.
We had the Polaris come out, and obviously people have enjoyed playing with that. We snuck the Idris in without none of you was expecting it for a while, and it's been a busy year. It's nice to start revisit some of the older catalogue and some of the bigger ships again.
I think my favourite ship from the last year is a tie between the Wolf and the Golem.
Favourite ship in the last year? Probably the Wolf.
I feel like it's the obvious one. I'm trying to think of something else, but I really like the Wolf.
Everyone's mentioned the Wolf. The Wolf's everyone's favourite.
It's cool,
The
but
Wolf, obviously,
like,
a return of Kruger.
I would definitely say
Correct.
the
Aesthetics of the
Asgard
game.
is probably
The Wolf
one of
was
my
not-
favorites, and definitely the Prowler
Out to
utility.
be, and it revived
Oh,
from
that's so
manufacturer. We've not seen
wonderful.
it
The
for a
Blackout
while,
Betty?
so yeah, I'm going to say the Wolf.
The Golem, I think,
The
is
Golem's
just
cool
a
too.
incredibly
I do like it.
powerful ship in such a small package. It really just shows off that Drake aesthetic, giving you the absolute bare minimum needed to perform a role.
I honestly do really like the Zeus.
Yes.
I think it came out really
Yes.
well.
Amen.
It's kind of hard to pin
Please
down a
bring me the
favorite
Zeus
ship.
MR.
There's
Please
a lot of
Zeus
really cool
MR.
ships.
Next year, we've got some super exciting ships coming up. We're ticking off a few big ones, which is good. We're going to see, again, maybe some ships from some manufacturers that don't have that many in their lineup. There's a few big challenging ones starting, so they're good. A breadth of ships, should we say.
The three new ships we're going to introduce today
You're a
all
Kraken.
tie in some way to the
saying
primary
nothing.
factions fighting over the Nyx system. We'll start with the People's Alliance and Anvil Aerospace.
Yeah.
Of course, yep. There's the Paladin.
Anvil is a very military-based brand. It's been a brand that's in Star Citizen for a long time,
Well, they'll bring
fighting
the
for
Stinger
lots of
in too.
military
Yeah.
contracts
Oh, yeah,
and
there's- there
law,
might be,
often
yeah.
up against Aegis, and to the point it actually beat Aegis in the past. You will be familiar with a lot of their ships' designs, such as the Hornet and Lightning. Earlier this year, we introduced the Anvil Asgard, based on the Valkyrie chassis, which is an extremely popular offering. And this year, we're bringing the concept ship we introduced last year, the Anvil Paladin, to life.
About time.
The Paladin is a gunship from Anvil Aerospace designed to support ground operations.
A gunship is a ship that's designed to stay in a sustained firefight while dealing a lot of damage, also taking damage.
We don't have a lot of gunships in the game that are true dedicated
Lord.
gunships. They are
That
quite
is
a tricky
ridiculous.
archetype to
My
controlling
grab.
without being too powerful. It's designed with a lot of firepower and high armor and health, but very low maneuverability.
It's multi-crew. It's just built purely for battle. It's got lots of armor, lots of guns, big guns.
It's got a very similar squat kind of form to the Valkyrie. It kind of reminds me of, I guess, like a pit bull. Obviously a very menacing silhouette.
It looks quite forward-weighted in its stance. It feels like it's coming towards you, even when it's just sat still. And I think that's something that helps with it feeling intimidating.
If we swing round, following the ship round clockwise, what you'll then see is the first of the side turrets. If we notice the canopy, you'll see that there's a fairly thick space between where the glass is and the whole exterior. That's because it has deployable armor.
Oh,
which
wow.
will come out and give you a little bit more
Yeah, I
cover
heard about
while you're
that.
actually attacking the target head on.
It's got these really nice kind of dual connected wings with the turrets out on the sides, just to try and give as much kind of range.
It's
for
a
those
very
turrets.
defiant type of ship.
Controlled by one of the two remote stations underneath the bridge. If we come around to the rear, you'll see a rail. Now that rail mounts the main turret of the ship, which is controlled by the co-pilot.
So you've got full 360 coverage underneath, full 360 coverage on top with it, and then the side turrets also have 360 coverage that way around and 180 outside. So
She's a better
really you
X-wing.
have, between the turrets, pretty much 360 coverage
I mean,
in all directions.
a fully crewed Paladin can be pretty deadly.
One of the unique things about the Paladin is all the turrets are remote and all the crew are located in this one central two-story room.
A lot of our other gunships, the crew gets scattered across the ship, but with the Paladin,
It would be good if it had full coverage, not like that one ship that where it couldn't aim lower than a certain point.
Gunners underneath. And I think that helps with the intention of what the ship does, because you've got this really nice kind of like gunner viewpoint down, kind of giving this lower coverage.
We added a glass floor just to keep the two connected.
I'm glad they did that.
Really
I didn't like
helps
that
with
open
the feeling that
floaty
you're all
crap that they had
working
earlier.
together and communicating.
That said, if you don't have the ability to fully crew a paladin, you can still fly it and engage in combat solo.
Obviously not as good as if you have a full crew,
Yes.
but you can't always guarantee your friends are going to be online.
As a solo ship, it's pretty capable of doing a variety of missions within Star Citizen. So if you want to run this ship solo, you can take on combat missions that, say, other heavy fighters.
I like the
the
very dark
Scorpius,
aesthetic in the
or
cockpit,
other
honestly,
ships
with
such
the
as the
blast
Dread
shields
Cutlass
up. I love that.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the entrance.
Coming aboard the Paladin, you enter into this sort of armory, ready room area. You have a variety of suit lockers and weapon racks in this room.
Everything's very militaristic, stripped back, simple. It's a very functional space, but you'll find everything you need in there.
One of the improvements from the original concept is we've added a small dedicated cargo bay area,
Nice.
allowing you to store actual SCU crates. Forward of that is the route to the lower gunners, and then upstairs you have the
I
bridge
like
area.
this ship, actually.
And
I didn't think I was
off
going to
that
like it,
central
but
area you have the
seeing
dual
it in
living
its
quarters,
entirety,
one on
I
the
dig
left,
it.
one on the right, and then at the rear you have the main sort of engineering area where the majority of the components are. Also within the upper traversal area, you also have a little breakout area with seating, food machine, toilets, etc.
I think it's a very cool looking ship. I think we did a really nice job of taking what was there in the concept and adding an extra level of detail and trying to kind of push things forward.
I think it hits the nail in terms of a really solid military ship. It's really complementary to some of the other ships in the Anvil lineup. So something like the Valkyrie, where you've got this big drop ship. You know, the Paladin's there just to make sure it's safe, make sure no one messes with you, and just basically scare people away.
The thing I like most, I think, about the Paladin is that it's very clearly got a crew of 4, and they all kind of work and operate under the same conditions. You know, the pilot, co-pilot, and the 2 gunners, they're basically all equal on the ship. There's one toilet, everyone's got the same style of bunk. When they're at work, everyone's at the front of the ship together.
It's really odd to me that you call that. You like that there's one toilet for 4 people.
You all work together. You're all equal at work.
The toilet seat never gets cold.
Toilet seat never gets cold.
Bruh, no.
So that's the Anvil Paladin, whilst originally a military-built craft, it's the perfect ship for folks
Hell no.
trying to defend against threats. And talking of threats, let's move to our next ship.
Yeah, but what about good ventilation?
What?
Especially after
What was the
Heteron
next
goes
ship?
through it.
Oh, this is Asperia? Oh, it's Asperia.
High-end manufacturer.
the
They
Stinger.
specialize in recreating exotic and particularly alien spacecraft.
Lisa, you called it the Stinger.
Effectively what they're doing is they're remanufacturing them, making them a little bit more suitable for kind of human flight. And the latest offering from Asperia is the Vandal Stinger.
The Vandal are big, scary space aliens. They're like 7-foot-tall, evil war race that sort of take over, steal technology, absorb it, fuse it all together into their own needs.
They are the relatively nasty aliens that you sometimes hear about and haven't
sale
seen much
now,
of yet.
$3.15.
They also make really cool spaceships.
Dang.
The Stinger is a Vandal
What's
heavy
on
fighter
sale?
that was reserved for their
The Stinger right now.
tier
Already?
sort of ace pilots or
Yep.
high
Wow.
Just released.
The Stinger
That's
is a competitor to
sad.
something like the FA
Spoken
or
like
I
a
guess
true
the
ship
Scorpius.
slut.
It packs
Yeah,
a
no,
lot
this
of
is the.
firepower in a
My
quite
brother was
large
talking
frame,
about
so
this. I
it's
think
a
he
very,
liked
very
something like this.
tanky
I'm not. This is not my thing.
spacecraft. The
It's cool,
firepower
but
is
not my
almost
thing.
unrivaled in terms of just both the
I like
number
it, but
and
yeah,
the size of them. So it's there for players who don't want agility. They don't want to be in and out quickly. They want to be there brawling
Wow.
with big guns and taking all the hits. One thing Asperia have done differently with the
see the
Stinger
inside.
is they have done away with the majority of the bespoke weapons.
They heard everyone's complaints about the glaive and blade and have stripped off the original Vandal weapons to allow customization for standard human weapons.
With the exception of the single-size 5 gun,
Because it was too well integrated into the hull, even for Asperia to remove.
all the additional weapons
Those-
are
the
generic
single-size
mounts, so they can
5,
be swapped with
and then
any of the
those
existing
wings.
lineup that we have in the game. By doing this, it provides greater flexibility to the end user, and this is something
Nice.
experimental for the civilian market. For that one bespoke weapon, the size 5 plasma cannon, functionally it is the same as the existing size 5 plasma cannons on the Scythe and Glaive, but it is a sort of Gen 2 model and wraps it in a different aesthetic compared to those models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal styling.
Oh,
This
that's
is much
sweet.
newer Vandal styling, but underneath it is the same weapon that people have used for years.
I do like that.
Our job as the vehicle art team on the PU was to take the Stinger from the squadron team and prepare it for life in the PU. We took an opportunity to take, this really well-established art style and, add extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real blend of these kind of hard surface, kind of rare alloyed kind of wings, and then underneath this real kind of organic structure that kind of webs all of the ship together. It connects the thrusters in, it connects all the kind of underside of the vehicle and pulls the whole ship together.
You can tell it's very different from the Vandal ships that are currently in the PU. If you take, for example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up at the front, you've got this big kind of bubble dome
Basically.
that gives the cockpit quite a unique shape compared to some of our other ships, and also gives the pilot a unique position within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to other ships, obviously being alien in nature.
You're going through a ramp at the rear, and at least you're kind of straight up into the belly of the ship.
There's,
cool.
Lots of organic
315.
detail, rib cages, kind of
Yeah,
strange
flight
aesthetic
ready.
forms.
Yeah.
Light
On
ready.
entry of
That's
the cockpit,
gross.
the seat kind of comes down towards you, and you kind of climb over the back of it a bit like a motorbike.
You're basically riding into the cockpit. It feels very much like you're being carried
Wow,
inside the
that's
cockpit.
crazy.
Into the traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
Yep.
290 if you more bond it. Yeah, sorry.
I'm very happy with the Stinger. I think the
Yeah,
team
well,
done a
good.
really good job of making something that feels different, it feels alien, but it suits our lineup of ships and it suits our universe.
I think the guys did a really good job of respecting the
I wonder
direction
what the
and vision
all HP
from
is.
the
I wonder
original
if they have an
Stinger
article.
and Vandal ships and Squadron.
We've tried to take a lot of inspiration from movies and other science fiction material, but I think it sits well within the Star Citizen universe.
So we have the Paladin for the People's
I
Alliance.
mean, for Nyx, I
We
would think so,
have
yeah. But I
the
mean,
Stinger
It might be.
for people.
well,
that
it said,
like
well, they said
Fire,
new ships
want
because
to
the
try and
Hope's not
bring
new, but I
What
think
about the other mysterious faction?
it's a new ship. So let's find out.
So Gray
Paper
Chowdhury got his start as he was working at a cargo center out in Odin.
Because they
Started
have
being able
talked
to
about
get his
hauling,
hands on some
so-
stuff that other people couldn't, items that necessarily you couldn't find on a store shelf, but you wanted anyway.
I think Gray is interested in, happy customers. Gray just sees themselves as a conduit
Maybe
to
it's
get these
this is
things
the
in the
Drake
hands of people
fighter.
who are would appreciate them.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
I think it's a Drake. It looks. It's a,
So the ship.
what the hell is this?
Well, we don't really know what it is. If I'm to be fair.
Oh
It's
my
what
God.
happens when someone who
They butchered
is
a
genius
cutlass.
at aeronautics and ship
they
assembly
do Jared's
is given
Jalopy
free
finally?
rein to do whatever they
Guess
want.
so.
It's the best of whatever they can find lying around,
Going after that.
put together to
That
make
is
something
the
truly
ugliest
unique,
thing I have
wonderful,
seen
arguably beautiful,
thus far.
and just released out
looks
into the
like a
universe to
Klingon
see what
bird of-
happens.
Oh my
Nay.
God!
At first glance at the
Why?
exterior of the ship,
Notice
I think
Klingon bird of
most
nay.
people will probably recognize there is more than a fair
That
proportion
is
of the
ugly.
cutlass visible
That
there.
is as
But it's
Drake
That is the
Drake
ugliest
quite a few
shit
changes
I've
to
ever
it.
seen. It's not even
As you
Drake.
look a
It's
little
like
bit
this
closer,
guy
you'll start to pick
that they were
out
talking
elements
about
from other
making this
ships.
weird ship.
You've got, main thrusters that are
Nah,
from the
man, that's
Valkyrie.
ugly.
even the bits
I mean,
that
those are from the
obviously
Valkyrie.
a cutlass have had
The
panels
thrusters from the
welded on,
Valkyrie. The body's the
panels
cutlass.
removed. The top turret, which is now remote, is just this hodgepodge amalgamation with multiple
That's
other ships'
so
turrets.
Oh my
And
God!
the changes
no.
continue onto the inside, where again,
so Drake.
it sort of feels cutlass-like, but then you'll find
One
there's bits
seat.
of Crusader ships just integrated into the wall.
What the heck?
It has lost its
This is
side
Jared
entrance,
and
some of its cargo capacity.
I bet you
but
it's up
what
there too on
gained
this.
is
Let
it's
me go look at
gained
the site.
Visually, more powerful
Oh, I'm
thrusters.
so sad
What do
even
they
looking
call
at
it?
Really
thing.
kind of nice set of belly
They
thrusters.
haven't given its name yet.
It's upped its firepower.
As ever, with the
Shiv,
refined
150,
work
heavy
from
fighter.
Gray's
This
Market,
is the.
you can see that
It's called-
great
it's
care was
Gray's
taken
Market.
for the health and safety to ensure
Yeah,
that there's
Gray's
no trip
Market.
hazards anywhere.
Shiv.
Yeah, this
Calling
is
it
the
the
Shiv.
Loose
Yep.
cables, panels are exposed.
Oh, this is
If you look
this is not
carefully,
even
you'll
Drake.
find
This is
tools
worse.
laying around in the cockpit.
It's gained a toilet.
Oh,
Dude,
Oh,
Not for Josephine, you need a second one to wash your hands.
Oh.
It's not an animal.
Shut
Very
up.
much taken that
Yo!
break.
Goodness,
They are so wrong for this.
Just look at this thing. How do you even begin to describe the madness that created this?
That is madness.
No, who approved this?
This is evil. Even I have to be like, nah.
This is something new and different for Star
Yeah,
Citizen.
no,
Well,
this is
for
something
135, you know.
I'm not going to answer that.
Just nothing. Just
No comment.
Yeah, he's like, no comment.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, you know, there are just many ways to find these things that.
That's wrong.
You know, I mean,
He is not a manufacturer. He is a
legitimate,
hootie,
you know, manufacturers?
ghetto
No.
person
Are
that
they
makes.
operating
He's a
on the
MacGyver of
outside of the law?
hooties.
You
Maybe
said
not, but, you
hoopty.
know,
Oh
I said
my goodness.
hoopty.
money.
No, you said hoopty.
Shut up.
Does it come with a plaque saying legitimate?
I heard
It probably
hoopty.
comes down to.
I heard hoopty.
Don't ask where I got it.
Hoopty.
Don't ask how we got it.
Hoopty.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Oh my
Just ask
God.
if you want it.
Stop.
I think the ship is for someone that is looking for something a
This
bit
ship is
different,
so
a bit away
gross.
from the norm. They
You
just
are
want
so
something that's
hoopty.
unique.
You're
It's
hoopty.
definitely for people who like a
hoopty.
rustic aesthetic.
It's
This
a fun
is the
ship.
ugliest thing
But
I've
it's also
ever
really
seen.
strong, to be honest, and it's absolutely a statement.
Oh. Oh my God. No.
I'm happy with the 3 ship offerings. They are
Yeah, and the
obviously
statement
very
is
combat-heavy.
no.
There's something
Exactly.
that they release all
Yo,
at once,
who
but
approved this?
Honestly, all of them are
Golly.
they're all cool.
That
As
bucket
always,
is.
super excited to release these ships into the game. and see how players
It's
react.
a straight up
Play with them.
bucket.
It's always fun
Is
to
it for
see
sale?
the,
You know
the
how many
quirks and
people
the
are gonna buy
shenanigans
it
that
just
people
for
do.
that?
Oh my God.
So that's talking ship
stop.
for another year.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I'm looking at this thing.
Wait, there's one more.
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a timeshare agreement this year. So we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is an extremely original name.
Fucking weapons. Oh my God. I just can't right now. It's just,
I'm glad I'm on tequila right now.
oh my God.
I'm talking about the new edition that
And
comes
as you can
in
see in the
October.
picture I just posted, that's
the
what I'm drinking.
non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have
All I gotta
a
say, that
manufacturer,
toilet just
the
was.
weapons
I was done
that you
after
can
that.
think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he can sell.
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come from unknown origins.
They
He will
fell off
sell
the back of the
things that
space truck.
No company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of like scrappy and taped together and the most kind of like pyro-ish weapons that you can think of.
Right now we're releasing 3 new weapons. Rocket launcher, the LMG,
Yes,
and
sir.
the long-awaited space
Space AK, baby. Let's go. I called it on my last video. I fucking
think
called
this is
it.
the one that not only is the most in
Hey, give
demand,
yourself
but
a
I've
medal.
been politely badgered about the most.
Right.
It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic
Energy
in sequence.
and ballistic?
So your first shot will be your ballistic, your second shot will be the energy.
Wow.
You'll see on top of the arc,
What?
there is a bolt that cycles the rounds, and that goes off with the ballistic
Oh
shot.
my
It doesn't
goodness.
go off with the energy shot. And that is just
crazy.
a really
Yo.
fun way of making a weapon work and kind of like a
Is that what's
scrappy-
coming in the?
Yeah, that's in the
Yeah.
goodies pack.
Together
Yeah,
kind of
that
like
one in the LMG. That thing.
The LMG, this thing is a really
Right
fun,
there.
slow firing.
This stuff looks janky as shit.
We'll bring the
Yeah.
50 cal, and they
It looks like a Tommy gun.
have this right now in the
Yes.
verse at the Bearing.
It's an
Oh
Right.
my
The
God, it's a
Tommy
Tommy
Honestly,
gun.
You even get hit by
It's
one.
Tommy
you
gun.
just
It's the
instantly
Pyro
win
Tommy
back
gun
to medical.
special. Let's go. Yes,
Are you even
goodies
trying?
pack. Let's go.
You know what? We made all these really complicated, fancy guns, and some people just want, I want a slow firing rifle. Give me a scrap together box that fires the biggest thing you can possibly fire.
We don't have a rocket launcher of this caliber. It will be 3
This-
grenades
is
straight
that duct
together
tape?
that you
Bro,
put
was that duct
into
tape?
the
Duct
tube.
tape. That is very
Oh
Fire,
my
of course, you have
God.
the cool part about it. It will have
Looks like
a
electricity.
ring
It's a good
distance,
idea to watch
so you
this
will
together.
not be able
Oh
to
my
just
God.
point
We
it
are
towards
so
an enemy.
disappointed.
It's also gonna
This
have a
is
lot
so
of spread.
disappointing.
So
It's a spread of
essentially,
3.
You're gonna have to get very close with your launcher to
Oh
be able
my
to blow up
God.
ships with a single payload in it.
We get
You
a
can't
blade.
actually aim
I
the
gotta
weapons.
say,
You've got the tube on your shoulder.
blowing up ships
you
with
try
a
to aim
single
it,
shot,
you have
though.
to physically put the tube in your head. So we were like, oh, we can't have an aiming apparatus for this. And then we realized, like, it's in the spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus, and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen.
Oh my
I'm gonna hit
god.
it.
It's in the spirit
The
of
ship
being
that looked like the Cutlass is called the Shiv, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Shiv.
Ooh, binoculars.
Are we gonna talk about
Binoculars?
binoculars? Binoculars are really cool.
$150
Was that a
We
rangefinder?
don't have anything like this in the verse.
Hell yeah.
And I think it will be really convenient to use something that's dedicated to look for the things, especially far away,
Yeah, it's a good
instead
scout.
of using your sniper scope, for example.
Heck
Will the
yeah.
binoculars have glint?
I'm not aware of this one. Probably not, because binoculars are not something that you need to be aware of.
It's really funny because obviously, due to Glintgate, as I beautifully internally call it, basically there was a lot of community feedback, basically saying like, oh, I really like spotting people. I really like playing a spotter, and essentially I was like, oh, this community wants to be able to spot people from distances, and what can we make gadget-wise that doesn't require new features? And it was like binoculars. And I prototyped a thing which essentially was just a scope in a hand, and it worked. So we've got some really cool binoculars coming that allow you to spot people from distances.
Star Wars binoculars.
I like it. I
And
like
how
it.
much damage do the binoculars
It's actually a monocular.
Depends on how you throw them.
Look at all that.
Yeah, I'm
That
digging the
is
binoculars and the LMG and
Thanks,
the
Alexi and Zach.
the
That's the
AK,
end of
but
this
that
segment
rocket
for this
launcher
year,
is
that's
so
talking ship
it's so out
and
of pocket.
weapons, unless anyone else is going to come and tell me something
It's a
else.
Drake original.
It's been an exciting year.
It's
and
not
I think
Drake,
the next year of
dude.
ships is going to be even
I know it's
more
not, but it
exciting
might as well
and,
be.
No, Drake is
expansive
not
than
that
this
low key, that low down, man.
Oh
Come
no,
on.
no! Don't even
No,
start.
it's not.
Go look at your shit.
Drake uses failing wire. This
No,
guy uses
no,
duct tape.
Drake doesn't have duct tape on shit like that. It's not like that for Drake. There might be wires hanging down and no panels, but it's not
That
duct tape.
is
We
an
don't use
eclectic bunch of combat ships for the
Audience.
verse. And they're all available right now up on the
Of course they
robertsspaceindustries.com
are.
store.
You want our money.
Also, any minute now, there's going to be a PTU drop that includes all three. So you can fly
Told
them
you.
now ahead of their
I knew
release
it.
next week when
You didn't tell us
Alpha
anything. I wasn't listening to you. I never
432
listened to
goes
you.
live. 3 combat ships.
I'm not speaking this to you. I'm
Wonder
speaking to
if
my
they'll
group
have
out here.
any additional uses
You're
coming
speaking
up
of your
later in the show.
peoples, right?
That's a hint. All right, what else can I shill? Oh, there's merch.
I was really
got these
hoping
cool
that they would
new
do
Levski
the
desk mat things.
RSI
These are always
rumored
popular.
ships.
There's some Levski metal posters on the store, and of course, love them or hate them, but you can't avoid them. There's this cool new Wickelow's
Hate 'em.
Emporium T-shirt.
I want to kill that
Yeah.
dirty alien.
There's also a page published
Dirty,
earlier today
dirty
with a
alien.
bunch of links to offerings
I
from
wish
our
we had dirty
third-party
aliens.
partners, from eye trackers
Wow.
to gaming chairs to voice packs to spaceship models from
Well,
new partners
there
like
went this
Planet
recording.
Ring and Pigeon Spaceport and more. You'll
Hey, I
find
didn't
all of
say
that on the
anything out
RSI
of
website as well.
that wasn't safe for
And
work.
what else can I show? Oh, for those of you who are at watch parties, for those of you at watch parties.
Watch party.
Where is it? Haha. Challenge coins. Who doesn't love challenge coins? There's these lovely Levski themed challenge coins if you're attending one of the 9 official watch parties around the world. There's also a digital one of these in the goodies pack. So you check those out. Don't leave today without getting your Levski challenge coin. All right.
What's the point of a digital watch coin?
I'm kind of tired of
Nothing.
shilling. All right, let's find out some
You get
more
to
about where
flip
we
it?
are. Simon, can we move? Can we do? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Pardon me. Excuse me. Hi. How you doing? That was my best angle. Hey, I got to be careful. Last year, I took 3 steps and tore a muscle. All right, so this is the 9th floor of CIG Manchester's Manchester office.
You got a full bar. Wow.
That's awesome.
I
Oh,
would've
you're going
worked
to
there.
This is
carry
the
your
room where we
I
have
would've worked
lunch
there,
every day, and if you get
Yeah,
here
I know, right?
early enough,
Well, you know what?
croissants.
We
If-
all should work
if the
there,
weapons
and
team
that
hasn't
just makes
stolen
it
all of them.
every day is a Star Citizen Day.
Over here,
Yes, sir.
we got some cool mannequins representing different aspects of the game. You got the
Mark
ever-present,
Hamill.
Hurston security armor over here. That's really
Yes.
cool. You got your Dusters armor
Nice.
right here. You got this guy from a game that we're not talking about today.
Wow.
Marine armor, yeah, it's
Wow.
all pretty cool. And then when you come over here, got a nice little recreation area. There's some sim pits over there for people who need to test that kind of stuff. We got this cool Krigeri Bengal carrier. Come over here, shoot it. Go down the nose here. Watch this. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go over here.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Watch him snap something off.
Right?
That would suck so bad.
All right.
There's a fighter landing in the back too.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
What are you doing, Richard Towler? All right. I thought John went to Washington D.C. Let's see, what else we got? We got a cool Voyager bar here. This is where we get all kinds of breakfast goodies, coffee, stuff
Take
like
care
that.
of your workers.
Hey,
So
who
you
remembers
paint
the big
something.
coffee controversy of
pizza.
2016, where everybody took to Reddit and pondered the question, do devs deserve coffee?
Who dropped?
I do. You want to see what next year's
Huh?
big controversy
Who
is?
dropped?
Check this out. I'm gonna come over here.
dropped?
Do
I don't
devs
know.
deserve coffee?
Tribucon.
Welcome
Tribu-
to the Stargarita machine.
Stargarita.
Gargarera.
No.
Do devs
Stargarera.
deserve frozen
Margarita machine.
deliciousness?
That's sad.
No.
I don't know. Go to Reddit and let us know. All right, let's see. It's over here. Competition. Oh, competition winners. We have the list of competition winners. Can we put that on the screen? Yeah, sorry, competition winners. Remember the competition for the CitizenCon winners? The people made the videos, and we gave them a Kruger L21 Wolf. We actually have the names.
Failed
They're
Messiah. I know him. Nice.
Oh my god.
All right, that's cool.
One sip of margarita and he's drunk already.
Right.
Right.
Some strong stuff over there.
Tequila before
Oh,
you
you guys
can
saved
get
me a
like
lot
that.
of pizza. Let's see, there's like 3 different kinds of pizza here. What if we just combine them into like a challenger situation here?
Ew. Nasty dude.
Yeah, don't tell me he's been smoking pot too.
He might be.
That's a CitizenCon throwback if you're not familiar with it. So I have now crafted my own pizza experience. And that is a terrible segue into our next segment.
Crafting.
Gemma, can we, Gemma, you there?
Yes, Jared.
Can we fire up the FPS crafting segment while I try to chew this off camera?
We sure can. Roll, BT.
Yeah, he's gonna need a drink to wash that down.
Crafting, baby. I knew it. I knew it. Let's go.
When is this coming in? Well,
And by the end of this year, all this is coming in.
Star Citizen, at its heart, will always be an enormous sandbox experience where you can set out to tackle the universe in whatever ways you want. But that doesn't mean we can't shape parts of the universe here and there to better suit our needs. That goes for both you and us. Let's start this part of the show with a look at how crafting is going to change everything from resource gathering, refining, and even combat when it comes online in the next few months.
This is one of the
First
things
version
I've
of
been waiting
crafting
for.
Is going to be quite small in scale. We're going to use it as a kind of a concentrated effort to allow the players to
Have you had
experience
sex, young man?
the initial UI, the flow of gathering
What?
materials of different quality, and
Oh,
using those to craft items which are better than what they have currently in the game.
The first version is going to be primarily FPS items that you can craft, weapons and armor.
Heck yeah.
For Star Citizen, crafting is our primary progression mechanic. Star Citizen isn't your standard MMO. We don't have levels. We have ships, we have gear, we have things that you create in the world, you perfect, you research, you improve. And those items, those ships, those vehicles, the armor and weapons, that's how you progress in Star Citizen.
Or like the most of us, we
Crafting isn't
buy
just
it.
a progression mechanic for creating new items. It's also
But you gotta have skills though,
a
right?
fundamental change to how we handle resources in the game. The materials that you collect, how you refine them, quality matters.
It changed for salvaging now. Salvaging is not just salvaging
weapons,
and you
you'll
get
be
these
able
boxes
to,
of either construction or
have some
recycled
quality
material.
materials to
Now
influence the item stats on those
you have to go
weapons.
get refined,
Be somewhat
like
random,
mining stuff.
potentially weighted on the location of the material.
Which means
Some will
potentially
have
more money.
higher chance of higher quality. And once you take those materials to your crafting bench, the
Those look like
fabricator,
distortions.
you can use them
Oh,
to
look,
craft,
that's
and
the taser.
different attributes will be increased based on the quality of the materials you use. It's not
railgun.
just iron ore anymore, it's iron ore
rail
of the
sniper.
quality that you know will get you the stats for the item that you desire. And it's not just mining, it's essentially every resource we can get our hands on.
To support this, we also need major changes to inventory so that all of these new resources that you're collecting, you can see what you have, you can order it better, you can understand what you have in your inventory.
Good.
Oh, whoa. Look at
We won't have the new refining crafting system yet. We'll be using the existing ones. Those will pass the quality through into the refined materials, which you can then take to your crafting machine and start making your personal items.
Oh, nice.
Once you have your blueprint and your quality materials that you've refined, then you can put them together on the item fabricator. This will be pretty much what we showed in last year's CitizenCon, with the UI letting you assign your quality resources to different aspects of the item. Once you're happy with what you see on the preview, you'll be able to click to craft, and it'll get queued up, and your results will be produced sometime later.
Ooh, so now you maybe can actually change like
You'll be
4
able to
different color
get
things.
the new crafting machine from shops in
Oh,
most
those are
landing
probably,
zones. You'll be able to bring it up on your freight elevator and use it in your personal hangar, or tractor beam it around and stick it on a ship if you want to use it from there.
There'll be a small amount of blueprints you get credited to your account just to test and mess around, but the vast majority of them will be earned through missions, and then you can use that blueprint to craft the item that it is that you've got the blueprint for. So it should be a good reason to go and test all the different various missions in the game.
Oh, man.
The advantage of crafting your own items is that they'll be better than anything that you could buy from
Share and
shops.
sell blueprints.
You'll be able to increase and improve item stats that are
Oh,
relevant to
nice.
your gameplay. Maybe
There's
a
the
gun will
AO3.
shoot faster, maybe it'll do some more damage, or your armor will have greater resistances
armor.
against environmental
but you'll
effects
move like
or
a
incoming
snail.
fire.
And
You
you
might
know
be
what?
wondering, what
The
about
beast.
the upgrade and research? That will be coming in a subsequent release. We're happy with this initial scope for crafting.
It's going to be so valuable for us as devs to kind of get the metrics in, get the feedback in, because then we can make the changes that, you know, they only become obvious, so to speak, when you have kind of mass amounts of data and mass amounts of users using it. So I'm very excited to get it out in the wild.
It's our intention to get crafting
Even
out of
out
the tech
of,
preview at the
primary
end of the
school.
year and get the testing we
I know,
need
right?
so we can release it when it's ready.
Digest.
ASD arms.
So that's one way
Interesting.
you'll be crafting your own experiences in the Star Citizen universe. But what about us? Where do we get to hone in and craft a bespoke experience here and there, specifically tailored to individual or small group play? Well, that's where instancing comes in. And I'm going to let Benji tell you a little bit
I
more.
wonder if we have to buy the fabricators, or will they be provided for
We're
us?
bringing
to buy 'em.
instancing to Star Citizen in 2026. Why are we doing it, and how will it work?
You mean steal them, right?
So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere. Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size, but it is also protected from outside interference. It's not to say that we don't love PvP. I'm a PvP guy. PvP me, bro.
Wow.
But like
Really?
most MMOs, a good balance between a dangerous overworld and a protected instances is needed. Right now, we don't have this ability, and this is something we really need in order to give you a sense of progression that is tailored and balanced to a tunable amount of groups, so the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that doesn't fit in our overworld strategy, meaning getting to the instance is dangerous, exiting the instance is dangerous, or can be interfered with others. But at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one experience. So before anybody says this is only a PvE thing, this technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless as the PvE.
Raptor,
ones.
that
So
machine
it's
can
not
make a
about
med
one
gun?
thing or the other.
Yeah.
It's really about unlocking
If you scroll
developers'
down,
ability to
it has
create
a med
curated
gun
content.
option.
So that said, how
That
will
night
it
we
work?
were there, I could have made a med
Instancing
gun.
is really an evolution over static to dynamic meshing. We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangars, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see.
The transition is just like
So no one can follow you on the elevator and steal your ship.
throughout the universe, we will be able to
why I
add
love
these
this
areas
for those
that
instances.
are open or closed instances that allow you to join in either with a
I
party
haven't
and
said
have
this
a
in a
reserved
while,
instance
Mystic,
for your
but
party,
hey, baby, how you doing?
or join an open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the compute power of the entire mesh. The closed ones will be really to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just like we do with your instance hangars currently. Let's go and find out what one of our first instances will be.
Orison, baby.
Siege of Orison was an event we did previously, which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Orison.
Yes.
This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization.
Someone take his shoes.
Back control.
Let's
So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back
I
and
need
be
that
the
new
sniper
heavy armor.
people off
I
a
need
bit
it.
further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic who sole
what,
job is going
there,
to
Gordon?
be revive and look after the rest of your
Gordon
team
Gecko.
and the health of them.
That looked like a dive.
Some of
That
you
looked
will
like a
be the people
diver's
who
helmet.
push
by
for
the way.
Look at that helmet.
to try and get sort of most of the mission
That helmet
done.
right there. Yeah, they do
The
have
event
diver
was
helmets. I
designed
have
for
like
about
3 of them
15
in my
to 30
inventory.
people.
Whoa.
But when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a
looks
massive
like a new suit.
operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo.
They have,
or
like,
if it was a
diving
public
helmets in
event
this thing?
that you could go with your friends or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
Absolutely. Let's go. Siege of Orison.
I'm excited to say the least to bring back Siege of
Well, I
Orison
like making
to
it
Star
for the
Citizen
size
and
you've got.
to sort of have it be
Yeah.
one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while
Yeah, like this guy right here in the front,
next
that's a new
season
armor.
is quite heavily focused on Nyx,
Siege of
I'm
Orison
also
is
very happy
murder
that we're
hobo
not really
territory.
ignoring our other 2 systems of Standard and Pyro, and we're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those 2 systems as well.
Yes, and while things like Genesis, interstellar hauling, crafting, Siege of Orison, and more will reveal next year, we'll continue to bring life into the existing universe outside of Nyx. There's still one more exciting use for instancing we're building right now. It's an earlier look than normal, and some of it is still in white box, but we're excited to share the first look at a major content release of 2026, and what it means for progression-based gameplay. As an evolution of our Building Interior initiative, you won't discover it by accident, because when it's complete, it will be found deep within the heart of Levski itself. This is the Municipal Works. So inside the facility, you'll find huge vaporization chambers, old processing plants, industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true history of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see Night 18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural plays, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a place you go to fix stuff.
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
So let me get this straight. This is literally a mission to fix the toilets of Levski.
It's not just the toilets. You're also trying to turn on the air. Air is a bit more important. It still works in Levski, but they have maybe polluted air.
At least they're not using a bucket.
Properly. It's not just for the toilet.
Poop mission.
Poop mission. It's also a little bit more exciting than just going into some vents. It's like a free layered system where there's 3 chapters.
This will be mission driven and repeatable. Everything from mining to salvage to combat to investigation, a variety of roles. Narratively, it's a real sandbox. Every progression you do will unlock a new area that will link back to previous areas, complexifying the play space.
We've been wanting to have more gameplay around landing zones for a long time. Now that we have instancing tech coming online, that allows us to do something
that looks like Brett the
provides
Hitman
really
hard.
cool gameplay close to the landing zone.
With the missions,
Reminds me
that's
of the
what
bad
will
guy from
create
Kindergarten Cop.
different overlays or change the spaces or change the progression.
Brett the Hitman
Will
hard
be
is
the
close to that.
instancing, which will enable us to create tailored content to you and your group. So you're going to be able to play a part of it, make your progress, and then log off. And then the next time you come online, you'll be able to pick up where you left off.
Wow. It's going to allow players to return back to it at different states, depending on how much you've progressed, and be able to keep it going until you've reached sort of the end of the whole 3 chapters.
Where you're not going to have other people getting in your way. It's you, your team, your party.
It's a way of giving players
Yeah, but do the NPCs respawn?
Exactly where they're at, and they can keep going back to it.
Probably going backwards.
Progress
NPCs there.
Ability to jump
ready
through
to
them
jump
faster
you.
and faster times as well.
Sorry, go ahead there, Raptor. You were going to say
So
something.
that's a look at how we'll be allowing players and developers alike to create more crafted experiences within the greater sandbox of the persistent universe. Okay? Is that it for me at this point, Jared?
Almost. Throw it back to me, and I've got one more for you after this.
Back to you, Jared.
Everybody loves you, Disco Lando. Disco Lando.
Everybody's really excited about the year ahead. So that's a brief look at some of the ways in which we're allowing you and our developers to craft a more curated Star Citizen experience. Now, at this point in the show, we are in the home stretch. We've got only one more segment
minutes.
to go. But before we do that, we wanted to check out, we said earlier in the show that we would look at what you were saying during the show. We looked at how to put YouTube comments on the stream, and it was immediately apparent that we were going to lose our broadcast license, so we're not going to do that. We did find some social media stuff on Twitch, though, or not Twitter, X. What is it called now? Let's see what this says. Let's see.
Garbage
We've got
is what it is.
Welcome Back Levski from,
Right.
I'm not wearing my glasses. Oh, no. Oh, time to suit up. Let's go get him, says Ubu. I really should have worn my glasses. Cue the bagpipes.
He's wearing his
That's the other
glasses.
game,
What the hell are you
Charlie
talking
Oscar. Let's see. Nice to see you live, Jared. Mom? Let's see. First CitizenCon after playing for almost a decade in Austin. Oh, nice. Straight out of Klesher, back to the Hex. Photos from Leicestershire. How do you say it? Is that Leicestershire? Leicester? Leicester? I've only been in the UK for 3.5 years. San Jose Bar Citizen Watch Party. Oh, somebody created a lovely Vandal mask there. Sean Tracy, can we get that in game? Just that, exactly. Just scan that, put that in game. All right, so that's a few reactions we're seeing on social media right now. Before we get to our big finale, or the thing we're going to wrap up the show with today, I did want to talk a little bit about big CitizenCon versus digital CitizenCon versus what we're doing today, which is CitizenCon Direct. Every year, CitizenCon is a monumental task for any number of people, whether that's development, marketing, the support teams, the platform teams. Everybody comes together to make this thing happen and go off, hopefully without a hitch. And so far, we've been doing all right, other than some stuff in the room here. You know who you are. They had to know. But doing CitizenCon is not always the easiest thing for our developers. You might not assume this, but most game developers are not social butterflies. They tend to like to sit quietly in the dark at their computers, like little goblins. They just make digital virtual worlds like this. And then I come in all happy and like, hey, you want to be on video? And they're like, no.
It reminds me of me when I used to work at Arete. Coming in, hey, what's up, guys? Everybody be like, wow, it's a little early, bro.
A little bit of it here. The folks in the editorial department
calling everybody randomly
of some of the more candid moments from the filming of CitizenCon over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to spend 2 minutes and take a look at that. Let's see what they put together.
How many CitizenCons have you performed in now?
Performed? Just the one. Nope, my first one.
One last year.
2.
A few.
8 or 9?
Maybe 9 or 10?
Never.
Man, I don't know, man.
Did you like doing it?
Yes, I was completely terrified.
It was good, a bit stressful.
The first live one, I was a mess.
Weird combination of going from insane highs to insane lows.
Live ones.
Because?
It's over.
Tequila had to
live
come
ones
out.
are pretty special.
Pre-samp's always fun, but the live events are special, aren't they?
Remember we were at that weird crack house in
I
like the live ones. Oh, I mean, I love these digital ones. These are the best.
Every time I've done it, it has been a digital one, and I'd like to do one on stage.
Is it because you have a restraining order against you, or?
Didn't know if I was going to be sick, if I was going to lose my stomach.
How hard is it to keep your eyes open on stage?
That's another problem with the lights. The kind of, I'm realizing through this sentence that I'm closing my eyes as I speak. Do I do that a lot?
Yes, you do.
I am a very shy individual, so this is me just trying to get out of my shell.
Getting the crowd
get
to
a new
react
show.
to the ideas that we've been working
Wow,
on.
or
We can react.
Thank you.
Everybody.
As long as you understand that. That's all that matters.
I can feel your passion.
that
for
dude's
it.
dome is like Megamind right there all day. I'm sorry.
See, this is why you and I cannot team anymore because we think alike
This will be
too
the
much.
best one yet. That's right. Because it's nice and short.
Oh my God.
Is this all supposed to be?
And I know you were like, oh, look at the virgin when you saw that other ginger.
Yeah.
Of all your nicknames, why is Moistmaster your favorite?
I think you mean least favorite, and because it has the word
closes his
moist
eyes
in
every
it,
time
I
he
mean,
talks.
Come on.
We'll give you a new nickname by the end of this.
Sounds good. Could do
All
with
right.
one.
Ginger's,
Let's get started.
Ginger not smooth. There you go. That's his nickname.
So for those of you watching at home or at the watch parties, you're like, why are we showing that? I put that in there because I'm eternally grateful for all of the CIG staff and developers who take the time to appear on these things, whether it's ISE, SCL, CitizenCon, walk on stage, be pre-recorded. It's not the easiest thing for everybody. And on behalf of the community, if I can speak for them in this regard, I want to say thank you for participating in these things each and every year that we have them. Now, let's wrap things up here. So, let's see, how do I want to do this? At this point, we've only got one major story left to tell. But before we do that, we wanted to do one more check-in on something we started last year. Last year, Rich Tyler took the stage and presented his roadmap to 1.0. And we didn't want to go an entire year without talking to the senior game director himself to get his update on that 1 year later. So we're going to throw it to him, and we're going to go to our last segment, and when we come back, we'll say our goodbyes. And if you're at a watch party, it's time to get
hammered.
That's not a word.
Trying to get hammered.
Let's just go. Let's just throw it back to me.
Wrecked.
Go to me from 1 week ago.
1 week ago. Time travel. I hate this.
Last year, Senior Game Director Rich Tyler took to the stage and revealed our plan for 1.0.
Now, before we end this year's CitizenCon Direct, we wanted to take a few moments and follow up on that reveal from last year, to do as we've done today and look at the year ahead. So, Rich, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. Everybody knows the only constant in game development is change. So I'm gonna ask you outright, what's changed about the road to 1.0?
Well, fortunately, nothing.
Nice.
It still remains our North Star. The team is busy working towards that goal in the background, and every patch this year has moved us towards that goal.
Yes, sure.
And if you haven't watched the Star Citizen 1.0 presentation from last year, I highly recommend you do so, because everything in it is still relevant as of today.
Nice.
You mentioned every patch this year has moved us towards that goal, so I want to dig deeper into that. We've done, at this point, 9 releases in this year, more than any year prior. How does each one of these not just sit as their own moment in time, but move us forward on this road to 1.0?
Well, last year I discussed the framework of 1.0, how all those complex systems can tie together. And one of the core aspects of that was the main story, which became the spine of the universe, which brought all of the locations, mission givers, guilds, and all the different areas of the game to the players. Now, what I didn't talk about from last year was all of the content that was going to support that framework, add the flesh to the bones, should we say. And I think that's where this year has moved us towards that goal. If you think about previous events of previous years, they've generally been locations that we've put into the verse, but they've been transient. We've taken them away, like Siege of Orison or Zenithreat. We've added them to game, and then they've been moved away. And I think with the addition of the patches this year, when you look at the Hathor facilities, Onyx facility, these are permanent additions to the world that not only have their own story, as when we release them with the patches, but they'll also become points of interest and areas that the larger 1.0 narrative will utilize.
Since we're on story, I'm gonna stay with this here. Since we launched the PU back in 2015, it's always been this sandbox where players can do what they want. They can bring their own story to the verse, and that'll never change. But how important is it that we also build this concurrent narrative of our own, this crafted experience, if you will, alongside that?
Well, we're trying to create a living, breathing universe. And that includes both the player stories that you mentioned, that they can go and enjoy and create their own memories together. But it also means that we want to have a universe that gives back. We want areas and locations to feel like they're believable and real life locations. And if you look throughout this year and the patches that we've worked towards, we've had an overarching story that's moved from patch to patch, and we're going through some of those cycles right now. We've also been introducing mission content that has fully voiced dialogue and facial animation, which allows us to inject some of the meaning and the why to what you are doing as a player. And I think story is integral to Star Citizen as a connective tissue that ties all of these different complex systems together, because it takes players on that journey throughout the game.
To see this big turn this year to start injecting story into the verse, I think people are really responding to it. So everybody knows, and you mentioned just now, that this year we changed a whole lot about how we operate and how we release things. How do you think that's gone?
I think it's gone very well. I think if the mantra that I've always been pushing this year at the beginning of January was patch always goes. And I think this year has seen a different development strategy for how we've been moving the game forward. That's where this different strategy has allowed us to really take a wider approach. And we also have to remember that Star Citizen is played by tens of thousands of players every day. And while we have lofty future goals, we still have to make decisions right now that make the game fun for the people that are playing it all the time, playing it as their daily game. If you look at previous years, we've had to hold a patch back, we've had to make concessions, mainly due to around a feature may not have been ready or right to go into there.
There were 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 5 months between patches.
Exactly, and I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for the players. I don't think it's good for the development team. I think it's better to have regular cadence of drops. One good example is this year for A Line of Mine. People probably don't know, but A Line of Mine, when you turned on the laser, it was actually supposed to reveal the sandworm Valakar.
Valakar.
And I played it, and it didn't hit the quality that I wanted to go into the game. So we changed, and I took it out, and I made that decision alongside Chris and Erin, and we've held that back, and we're going to work on that towards a future patch. But I think definitely the more regular cadences has had the multiple benefits, and like I said, I want to dispel a myth right here, right now. Like, features are still being worked on quite heavily in the background, from radar and scanning, FPS, the new quantum, to inventory, engineering, and crafting, and all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that if I was to go back to the start of the year, I would hope that we would have released more features. But I also think every decision we've made this year has been through the lens of making the live experience as stable and as good as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a bit about the year before. And the year before has been, I've said this before, I've said it internally, I've said it out there, I'm going to say it right now again on camera. I think this has been the best year of Star Citizen ever. And I'm willing to look right into the camera and say that.
I don't disagree, because
player numbers are up, engagement numbers are up, the length of play sessions are up, bug numbers are down, 30K is gone.
I couldn't log in for a month.
But CitizenCon
so
isn't
I'm glad that
talking about the future. So I want to move us to
where
the
they're
future.
dropping new patches.
We've talked about story. We've talked about this more diegetic, immersive
Playability has gotten
universe.
much
Yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot less downtime.
Where do we go from here? Obviously, that
a lot less downtime between
more
patches.
are we going to do to make this universe seem alive and real and breathing?
I think the biggest thing is to start having that conversation be two-way. So if you think about this year, like you mentioned, with having fully voiced NPCs, but a lot of those missions and those NPCs, they're talking to you, they're talking at you. Right. You don't get to talk back to them. Now, obviously, you get to interact with them through your actions. You get to go and do their mission, and you get to move that along, and then they talk to you again. But it's a one-way conversation.
We're missing that conversation wheel.
Exactly. The next part would be physical mission givers. That's something that we're going to be working towards very soon, with Battaglia being the first one coming back in the verse. And just to be clear, we will be bringing all the mission givers eventually back, and we want them to be an integral part of the verse and the story that players go and enjoy. We want the locations to be brought to life, and as we mentioned last year, we want to have interactive scenes that you can go and be part of. And obviously the full end goal is towards, you know, to have cinematic stories in the game, and that is what we're going to be pushing towards.
Basically, kind of like Star Wars: The Old Republic, where every decision you make, it was basically like it was like an interactive cutscene. And if you were in a group, depending on what in the background, whoever rolled the most got to have the reply to the NPC or the mission giver to influence what happens next. And it was almost like like I said, like a cutscene for a movie.
When mission givers were first introduced, they sometimes became a bottleneck. Is there a role in instancing, which we learned about earlier today? Is there a role for instancing in that, in helping with mission givers?
Yes, partially. It will be one mechanism that will allow us to have players go to their own individual area of the verse, have that conversation, and then go and continue on into the open world environment. So I think that's where, when we look at instancing provides us one tool that allows us to remove that bottleneck and provide a more seamless experience.
Happy you said that, because that's one of our last topics I want to get to, is how we reconcile instancing with the persistent universe. Like, for the last 10 years now, we've been building this giant, seamless, persistent universe where everybody can come in and play together. And it would be easy to have a first instinct reaction to the idea of instancing and say that's antithetical to everything that Star Citizen is. But you mentioned last year these three pillars of building Star Citizen in the PU, and I want to know, you said nothing changed, but I want to ask you about this specifically. What are those three pillars again, and how does instancing fit within the greater design of Star Citizen?
So the three pillars I mentioned last year were open world. That's just like the missions you love today. You can go and play, there's other players there, and you can go and enjoy that together. Then we have instancing, which I'll talk about more, but similar to municipal works that we've talked about previously. And then the third pillar was dynamic content, which would be content that's generated by the activities of the players. And I think it's very easy to become myopic around one specific thing when we're talking about it a lot, when it's the next stage of our development. And I think you could reverse it. If we'd have made a game that was all instance, and then I'd come on camera and said, hey guys, we're going to start doing it open world, it would be like, oh, is the game changing? Are we doing open world now? Is open world the new North Star that's going to take us this way? And it's not. It's just one more tool that's going to allow us to offer different and dynamic experiences for players to go and engage in. Now, when I talk about instancing isn't always what you'd imagine as a solo instance experience where it's only just you. We're going to have several different versions of instances. Some are going to be closed instances, which will be like the new player experience. We'll be able for you to go in by yourself, for us to teach you the ropes in a safe environment so that you can understand how to play the complex game that we've made. But we'll also have open instances like a cantina or a bar where we might say, hey, we only want 50 people to come in here because we've got mission givers and we've got other NPCs for you to talk to, and you would just walk in and it would be seamless. You wouldn't know that there was
Just anymore, it would be a fire hazard.
Screen. You would just seamlessly walk into that location. It would be full of other players and NPCs, and you can go and enjoy the content. And that's, I think, something that instancing is going to provide us. It's going to give us a tool to offer different dynamic content or curated content, as I'd say. It allows us to create experiences that are different to the
Like I said, I think we've made a lot of progress where
made. And it's not to say
the
that
next
we
couple
won't
of patches
continue
are
our
really going to be
open world
worth
development or
jumping
only do
back
instance
in.
content. It's going to be a mix. And like I said,
We'll see.
this is
What I
one of the
heard
pillars
today
that will move
means,
towards
that
1.0.
convoy packet, I think
We
is
will
getting
eventually
involved.
work on
Oh,
dynamic
Lisa, control yourself.
and all three
Control
of those
yourself.
pillars will interweave
I don't know. I'm
to
sitting here
create
thinking
the full
about
Star Citizen experience.
getting rid of one of my
we've got
ships
a lot
and
of
getting the paladin.
bigger topics, the feature work, engineering, and FPS crafting coming to tech previews
Is that
soon
for sale
and stuff
right
like
now?
this.
Paladin?
We talked about instancing and how that's going to work with the universe.
Hey, baby,
But
come
I want to
home,
ask you this
Daddy.
one last
if you're gonna get it, you go and
It's
get it.
very
Then
easy
I ain't
to
gonna-
say
I'm not
Star
gonna get it.
Citizen is this kind of game,
I
that
mean,
kind of game.
I was
Those
impressed.
of us who
I was very impressed.
spend our days
Get it
making
then.
it know better. It's an
You
everything game.
stop
It's everything
pressuring
we
me.
can make a game.
You
It's just-
stop pressuring me like the
but
woman
at
that
the
you
core
are.
of this is still spaceships.
It's not
that
there.
Life of spaceships.
Oh no, no, there it is.
What?
Yes, it is.
What
There it is.
more can you tell us about spaceship
Yay.
gameplay?
Hey, baby.
in the
Only
future?
120 month
what can you
insurance,
give us?
though.
What can you tee up for us to
What?
look
That's
forward
all?
to?
Well, that's right. She is
those
old.
of us who
She's
are
old.
really into Star Citizen for the
way old.
spaceships.
Our intentions going
No
forward
lifetime?
to make sure that every
No
ship
lifetime
or ship
offering. Hold on,
archetype
my
that you
Upgrade.
acquire
Yep.
has a role and
Melt something
the
down.
content that you can
Oh,
go
no,
and
there's a
enjoy
war bond.
in the universe.
It's a
For
war
example,
bond.
right now I know that we're working on
I don't-
more
oh, yeah,
robust
there it
mining
is.
missions, more robust salvage missions. We're going to be working on refueling missions.
Paladin
And we want to make
standard,
sure that
war
each and
bond,
every
this
one of the ship has a purpose and has a reason to exist in the game. That's from
Yeah, I like the fact that
smallest
they're like looking
Argo
for
MPUV,
ways to make sure
as well as
everybody has a
ground
purpose in a
vehicles,
group. Like
all the way
they were
up
talking
to the
about
large
Orson, they were
capsule
talking
ships.
about
We
how
want to give them
maybe you're a
purpose.
tank that's like
And I think
front
it's
and
something
center
that
mowing people
we
down.
are
Then you got your
absolutely
person who's
aware
a medic
of.
who's
We
basically
wanna make
healing
sure that we're
everybody.
building that
You know, you got a
spectrum of
person
content
who's like a
to
sniper that's
allow
from your
players to go
distance,
and
you know,
engage
in the
in.
quiet, is
And I
moving
think
quickly to flank
2026
people. You
is
got a
going to
spotter. You
be
got, you know, I just like that. There's
very
they're
good
trying to
year for
give
Star Citizen.
everybody
And I think there's
their
gonna be
like a
something
purpose
that's
within a
very
group to
interesting
do
and
things. You know,
something
because
that
You
not
don't
the
have to be
same.
just the pew pew person. You don't
Exactly.
have to be the run
Rather
and
than
gun.
me
You can
spoiling
hang
it,
back
I'll
and
let
be a
Ian
spot
and
spotter for
Yeah.
my
details on that.
I love
Right.
being
As
pew pew.
Ian, take it away.
And you can be pew pew if you want to be pew pew.
I love it when you talk dirty to me like that. You're so wrong.
Space for
I know,
spaceships. What's this?
As long as nobody gets shot in the
Citizen
back.
Universe has existed for
Hey,
over 10 years.
talk to
During
Jedi
that
like
time,
that.
we've created lots of gameplay systems. We've added hundreds of locations. We've added lots of mission activities for different purposes: combat, cargo, mining, salvaging. But for combat ships, the only thing you've been able to do is fight other combat ships. In 2026, this changes. We're going to be delivering a spaceship-focused activity space which incentivizes the use of different gameplay roles. These are going to be scenarios where you're going to have to plan and strategize and create operational tactics to overcome your objective. So what you're going to see is very early. It's early in the pipeline process. and it's going to come online about mid next year. But we're really excited about the content we're creating, so we want to share with you a super early look at what we're building in a space we're calling Tactical Strike Groups.
Whatever. Tactical strike groups. In other words, you become like one giant.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nyx system.
They've sent a capital ship to check out a station and run into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage.
Oh.
Now they've reached out to Intersect, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot.
Hello.
Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this space where you will find 3 big arms. You will see at the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance-owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you've met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
Kill them all. Kill them all.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, now it's time to actually assault the station.
This station has been outfitted to resist all of the obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated Vanduul capital ship killing turrets.
Oh my
These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Your Polaris and your Idris, if you get it close, it will get shredded. The idea of these is
That's
to
a nope.
sort of make it so you can mix up that ship combat, and not everyone
It's a
can
matter
just
of
bring the
like
biggest ship and win. just
targeting
because
it and
they
taking
have
that gun
the
out
biggest ship.
when you see it fire. Wow.
You have to send out your best pilots to navigate
get 'em,
the
Raptor.
superstructure and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships.
That's cool.
So at this point, you're thinking destroy the turrets, but it's not that easy.
It's not.
This turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything. Your lasers won't do anything. Your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have
I want to do
cut
things
the
to this
power
hobbit
to their
woman.
shields.
You have to cut the
To
power.
do that, that actually brings you
I want to
to
do
your
things to
first
this
target,
hobbit woman.
the power relays.
Okay, cool. So you have to hit relays.
So the exterior
That's
has
cool.
a number of power relays
There you
that are
go.
holding the doors
Nice.
closed so that you can't get in.
You have to find them, you have to target them, and you have to destroy them. But it may not be as easy as it seems.
Here's our first wrinkle. The power relays
They
have their own
underestimate us.
shields
They
that
always
are resistant
underestimate
to
us. They don't
energy-based
understand.
attacks.
We know how much you like
They're
using
just using
laser
two
repeaters,
fighters.
but so do these guys.
Exactly. Oh, dear lord.
Capital ship can't get close enough because of the turrets.
So ships with explosive or ballistic ordnance will be needed here.
Oh.
That's torpedo ships like
Of
your
course.
Retaliator or Gladiator, or even another fighter with ballistics loadout. That's going to take you a while.
Yeah. Boom, boom.
Once the power relays have been taken down, the station opens up.
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for you to fly your ship inside the station.
Yeah, you, in your ship, fly into the superstructure of this station.
How cool is that?
Oh, was anybody?
Like this is a proud dad moment.
Thank you, Jared. We're just going to call it what it is. It's a trench run.
It's a
Yeah.
trench run.
Yep.
Nice. Let's go.
Game on.
Always.
So as you enter the
I love
structure,
you people.
you'll see
I
cool
was
units
waiting for
along the
this.
sides that you'll need to take
I was
out.
waiting for something like this for Star Citizen.
Damn.
There's 3 arms to
dear
the
Lord.
station that have these trenches. You'll fly into one, and then there'll be a core in the
Oh
center.
my god.
My God.
You're either gonna do it multiple
We did.
times, or you need to
They
keep flying.
didn't.
They did.
Seriously?
They did.
Hey, you know
At
what?
this
That's
point, the core
fine.
is still protected, so
Yeah,
these are
let it-
I'll
essentially
take it, I mean,
strafing
but
rounds.
Let's go. Wow.
There are objects to avoid. You're going to have to be able to dodge. You're going to have to move
You gotta
quickly.
be a good. Oh, you need
agile
sticks.
ship.
No answers or buttons. You can't do this with a mouse and keyboard.
Because the ship creator that you're targeting is making lots of distortion damage.
Well, and here's another question.
Dad.
I think there's going to be fighters that aren't going to be able to fit in there. Like I'm looking at that going, the Scorpion fit in there.
From the inside and also from
You may not even be able to
exhaust
get
ports on
this
the
thing,
outside
any of the
station.
heavy fighters in there at all. You're gonna have to
Right. Right.
This core is armored and just takes a whole lot of damage.
Oh, that's evil. Tossing torpedoes in there. Oh, that guy in the back.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry.
Once the power core goes down, the turrets come down, and then the capital ships can get closer. Why is that important? Because during all of this, you spend a lot of ammo and munitions and ballistics, and you're going to want to top up.
This is where we're going to get our new feature in. Ship hangar refueling and rearming.
Let's go.
Here we
You're
go.
going to be able to
Even the
land in a
that means the
hangar
tack
of
will get
select
going
ships
with that
and
too.
be able
Yes.
to use the same interface as you are right now at stations to refuel and rearm.
It's specifically for ships like the Idris and the Polaris and other ships that are designed to have other ships land inside them.
Of course, it'll be more than just those two ships, and you'll find out more once we get closer to release. But this is a
Oh,
really
they just
important
hinted
feature
at
that
the
we're
Vulcan.
really excited to get out.
Tell me they didn't just
You're
hit
not
at the
bringing your own
Vulcan.
Idris. The People's Alliance
Just
has
they-
an Idris there
just
that
smack in the
can
face.
provide a safe port and
Or in your
storm,
case,
allow you to
in your
sit
case,
back up and
smack
head
in the
back
dick.
And it's a good thing
Oh,
that you
damn
are
it.
rearmed and
You're
refueled too,
recording.
because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance.
Not anymore.
Right. We're totally gonna see the Vulcan not crucible.
So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Now you've got to take a fire team in. You've got to land. You've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies.
That one guy.
This unknown
down.
faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station. After
That's
you've
me
opened
all
the
the way.
doors and that person's taken off, you've just got to make
Crunch.
sure they get to safety.
So at
Buccaneers.
this point, all of this sounds pretty simple,
Buccaneers.
but there's an additional complication.
So up until this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
FanDuel.
The Vanduul neighbors who really don't like these guys for some reason will come in and wreak havoc on everything.
And they're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood. When you alert the Vanduul by destroying the power core that the station's now vulnerable, you're on a time limit. Vanduul are coming, they're going to come hard, they're going to keep coming, you're going to have one hell of a fight.
Put your coffee down, dummy. Ooh, I wonder if a king ship will show up.
Big ship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was waiting for that.
I called this?
Oh my
that's so
God. Yes.
Yes.
We get to take on a king ship. I am wet right now.
Tactical strike groups. I'm personally so invested in this. So throughout 2025, we created a variety of content. Some of it was very focused on FPS combat. So personally, driving a more vehicle-based experience was very important to me. This is a defining statement that I want to do in 2026. We're a spaceship game. There are prized possessions. To the objects we fall in love with. This is the content we want to create, which creates scenarios and roles for you to use those spaceships. We won't get to all roles initially, but we should see this as a landmark, a position where we can see a gameplay space which incentivizes the use of different ships and scenarios to clear objectives and complete missions in a variety of roles. And in the future, we can use this to expand on. So I hope you're all just as excited as I am for tactical strike groups They're gonna be fantastic.
By the way, tequila works really good on a sinus infection.
All right, well, that is all I have for right now because it's about to come to the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. So as always, guys, it's your boy Raptor Spirit is. You guys stay safe out there, and I will see you in the verse, guys. Let's go.